Hey, teacups. It's your girl Monica. Welcome back to the All About the Tea channel. Joining me this afternoon are Teacup affiliates, Plez.
Hey,
Oh, Plez, what's the lip color of the day?
it is MAC. It's a red lip gloss called Wicked Ways.
Ooh, not
hmm
on a Sunday with the school teacher glasses.
We were talking about these Bamas, so I had to come through in my roll tide.
I see that, child. I love it. Schoolboy on the building. Hey, schoolboy.
Hey,
Hey, happy Sunday. Fun day.
oh, the day
And
of
we
rest.
have the bishop joining us this afternoon. Hey, Bishop.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. How you doing? Oh,
Doing
hold
pretty
that
good.
Barry. We in his Barry White mood, child.
hmm
What you got going on this Sunday? All right, y'all. First and foremost, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I need y'all to hit that subscribe button down below. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, I need y'all to bang that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the piping hot tea that we serve on this channel. And while you're at it, since you're down there, you might as well hit that like button. All right, y'all. Yep. Teacups. On the agenda this afternoon, we are recapping Love and Marriage Huntsville, which involves the messy entanglements of Melody and Martell Holt. Let's get into it.
A website called All About the Tea.
He told all about the tea that during the fight,
All right, y'all. So I made a big announcement on my social media. I said that I would be revealing a big secret about my YouTube channel, which I plan to do during this broadcast, but y'all gonna have to wait until after the recap. Yeah, you know how I do. I love to keep you in suspense.
hmm
Big. It's not clickbait. It is a big reveal, and some jaws may drop. Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows? But just hang out until the end of the recap. Shall we get into it, Plez? Let's get started. Okay, so the episode kicks off with the cast bringing us up to speed on their lives in the midst of the pandemic. Maurice Scott is holding a Black business town hall, and revolving around the economic injustices that exist in this world between Black people and white people in business. Let's keep it real. Okay. The various business owners speak, and listen, this was, to me, this and Martell and Melody's fight was the best part of the episode. You can scrap everything else in between. I love this part of the episode. I identified it with the most because for those that don't know my backstory, I worked in corporate America for years. I was an executive before I decided to be my own boss and jump into this media world. But so a lot of the things that these Black business owners were saying resonated with me. Plez, sound off. What were your thoughts on that scene?
Oh, I loved it. You know, when we talk about reality TV and bringing something positive to our community, it was great. It was everything that people needed to see and hear to talk about funding opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
how we become our own bosses, and why, people, especially people on the other side, like to say that supporting Black businesses is somehow reverse racism. It's not. It's us trying to right the inequities and the complicit inequality that it already exists in America. So it's important for us to understand how supporting Black businesses not only makes one or two people rich and uplifts their platform, but it helps everybody. It keeps our dollar circulating. We're able to hire more people that maybe sometimes would not be hired by mainstream America. And it's how we grow ourselves out of poverty. People love to say, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. This is how you do it. And when banks and other places won't give you loans, how you band together and work together to create funding, create opportunities, tell others about opportunities for funding that they may not know because we didn't grow up in these spaces. There's so much out here. I see it working on a governmental level. And when for some reason when we try to use it, people want to call it welfare or handouts. I'm here to tell you, most of your big businesses get grants, get loans, get government subsidized funding. And now we should take care and take advantage of these opportunities as well. But it starts with knowledge and knowing that it's out there. So I'm glad that he was willing to share the wealth because so many people don't want to share. They want to get to the top and hold it all for themselves. And that's not how we grow. So I was there for it.
Oh, yes, yes. And well said, Ples. Well said. Bishop, sound off. What were your thoughts on the business owner town hall? I loved it.
Okay, I was listening to mainly this morning, but I didn't get to actually look and watch the screen. And I'm just here for the Black economy growing, and us doing it for ourselves, and also understanding that you are a member of society as well. And like what players were saying, you'd be surprised how many people get handouts. Like even when you think about foreign aid, we give to other countries, and they like, oh, and they love to say, oh, welfare this, welfare that. Most of us don't even get welfare compared to the dominant group. So when people say that, you're talking about a small segment of Black Americans. You're not even talking about a whole group, and some women don't even want it because they want to make their own money. They don't want to be stifled with the cap off for us. Now I'm gonna say for us because I know women in corporate America, like Monica, she's familiar with corporate America. Most of them, others, dominant society women, they get welfare while they working at corporate America, and I'm like, how? Like this is a big corporation where you make good money, and I'm like, how are you getting it? And some of us can't even get that. But that only went towards their food. But everything else, they could do whatever they want with their money. I'm like, wow, interesting. And it's crazy where we don't never stop to really look at that, the big picture.
Absolutely. Well said. Schoolboy, what were your thoughts on the Black economic business town hall?
I thought it was great. My grandmother has shares in a Black bank, Harbor Bank in Maryland. So a lot of people will always say, well, there's not enough Black banks. I'm like, Google it. I have a Black bank right here in the state of Texas. So, banking Black, supporting our own community, things like that. And PlesWorks is doing on the governmental end what she does and on the law side of things. And I work in the medical doing as far as billing. And I've worked in clinics where like right outside, one area right here is the rich part. And then right around the corner is the low income part where I worked in a low income clinic, and predominantly most people that came in there were not my skin tone. I will say that. And they pulled up in cars better than people that worked every day, which was amazing to me. But they were able to get things like Medicaid and welfare and stuff like that. And a lot of people, just like Bishop said, they don't want to be stifled like that because the government's in your business. They want to know how much you make. They want to know if you have a bank account. They, all of these different things. So it's okay for us to bank and do those things because so many other communities, they help each other. And they have small communities of themselves where they pour into each other's businesses. So I think that was great to see that on TV. You don't see that on reality TV. And typically what we do see on reality TV is ratchet type businesses. It ain't got nothing to do with anything positive or something else outside of the norm of strip clubs with chicken wings and, bars and things like that. So I thought it was great that they showed that and highlighted that because we do need to see that on TV more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Ayana, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Sunday. Powerful opening to the episode. Very much so. That was well done. Very, very tasteful. Very, very tasteful. I loved it.
I want more of us to focus on just financial empowerment. You might not want to run your own business, and that's fine. But the importance of balancing our finances, saving, investing, teaching our children how to get a college degree without going into all of this kind of debt, like that's very important for me. The thing, if I knew the things that I knew now at 37, when I was 16, 17, 18, I will be light years ahead of
Mm-hmm.
where I am now. And it's because we don't know. A lot of us are just, again, getting started. We're first, second generation people into this. I'm, I guess, second generation college student. So my mama promoted education, but she
Mhm.
lived check to check. She didn't know about saving and
Mm-hmm.
investing and having multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the true freedom comes to play, where you can write tickets for your children. So many of us want or embrace struggle, and
Mm-hmm.
you should. You shouldn't just give people everything, but we also have to learn how to embrace coming out of that struggle mindset. And one thing that I love that they talked about was financial improvement. And the schools don't teach it
Mm-mm.
because the rich want to keep the classes how they are. A
Right.
lot of people don't really know, like Martin Luther King was not assassinated because of the civil rights movement. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't until he started pivoting and starting to teach people about strikes and economic empowerment in his poor people's campaign that they
Mm-hmm.
took him out. So it's, I always tell people, you know, America has been so gamed. It's not race. It's never race. It's class.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
Absolutely.
and even though to add on to what she's saying, financial literacy is number uno numero
Mm-hmm.
in learning that, because you need to know, you need to be literal with finances and also with tech literacy. You need to know tech literacy because now the money is going into crypto and it's heading that way to, to where you're going to start, swapping money through the crypto. So that this definitely need to be taught.
Absolutely.
And I'm with the education department. You with the law department. You with the medical field. I'm with the education department.
Absolutely. One brother really stood out to me when he said, it's not always about money, it's about how you structure the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not invited to the table a lot of times to even understand how those things work. That right there resonated the most with me because he's absolutely right. It's not always about money. It's
Mm-hmm.
how the deal is structured. It's how you can get funding from various places that we don't know about. Because as Black people, we're not privy to certain conversations, certain meetings with people, certain relationships, etc. So that right there just resonated with me so much. That, like I said, that was my one of, well, that and the fight at the end, the messy stuff was my favorite parts of the episode. But we're gonna keep this train moving. Okay. Of course, the Holts were absent because they're going through their mess. So they're in the middle of a divorce, and there's all kinds of rumors out there. So they weren't present. So Melody, now we're moving on to Melody. She's in Atlanta, staying at her brother's house. She moved out of her marital house and she's living with her brother. Martell's creeping has finally caught up to him because he couldn't stay away from his mistress, Ariane Curry. I'm pretty sure anyone that's a fan of this show, you follow the blogs, the YouTube videos. Ariane Curry is Martell's mistress, and it's been made public. I've spoken to her. I used to speak to her all the time until she got really mad at me. And I got a ton of tea. I've written blogs about it. I teamed up with Tasha K to do an exclusive. So yeah, Ariane Curry. Ugh. Martell and his mistress, and they've been going 4 to 5 years, him and that mistress. Anyway, so during a pandemic when everything is closed and there's no place for this man to go, he still couldn't keep his dick in his pants. The urges were too much, okay? And that snapper that Ariane Curry got over there was calling him. And he was leaving the house during a pandemic and stay gone for 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time. Because at the time
Ooh.
she was in another state. Okay. And, Melanie tells her brother that she's had enough and the marriage is at the point of no return. She's not open to being a sister wife, so she's filing for divorce. She's not going to dumb down her moral standards to save her marriage. As y'all know, they have 4 kids and one is under a year. Please sound off on that scene.
Well, I was here for it. I've been wanting Melanie to make this choice. I wish she would have made it before she had another baby with him, because he's been cheating this whole time. I hate when people think babies are going to change things, fix things, solve things. They're not. You're just going to have another person who has to deal with the effects of the adult's selfishness. And so I'm happy though that she's arrived at this point. It was so crazy watching that after we watched Wendy. So I'm glad Melanie is standing up for herself. I don't want her to turn into a Wendy and be mad and crying 20 years later, because Martell is who he is. Ariane may have thought she won or is winning something. She is not. We saw, if you're a fan, I'm a fan of the show. We saw last season when they tried therapy, Martell isn't there. And again, this is not to say, this is what I was talking about last night. People get so caught up in the action in one side of a person that they can't see the whole person. Martell is a good person. He is a good father, horrible husband, has lots of childhood unresolved trauma, and at his core is very narcissistic and insecure. He has the need to constantly have his ego fed. And because a lot of men grow up only having to do the bare minimum, and they're told, and that's because of the past and Black women and everything, of how we always said, oh girl, he provides. So he thinks because he provides and because he's a good father, he should have reign to do anything else he wants to do. If any of his needs are not being met, he should be able to go and get them met elsewhere. And that's just not the reality of marriage or a relationship. No one gets 100% of what they want from their partner. It's literally impossible. So the person themselves has to have enough dignity and discipline to not tear their family apart for their own selfish needs. Melody isn't perfect, but you at some point you either have to say, I'm not happy, I'm leaving, or work on your marriage. And Martell could not and will not do that, so I'm glad Melody did it for him.
Yep. Bishop, what are your thoughts on Melanie finally throwing in the towel and saying enough is enough with this dirty D? I've had it. What are your thoughts?
I say good for her, and I'm glad they're at to the point to where they realize that they don't want each other. He doesn't want her either. So I'm glad she pulled the trigger. That way she won't be no old bitter woman. She's doing it at a right time to where she knows it's over. And like what Player said, it does not make him a bad person. He's just in love with somebody else. And a lot of times we fall in love at a young age and not knowing how to nurture that love. Because we're not at the mature age like our parents were when they were young, when they were our age. Most of them already was in, by the time they was in their 30s, they're like 10 years in. And then they knew how to handle a lot of things better than we did. And he checked out, like Player said. And it's nothing wrong with checking out, but the problem is when you're careless about not taking care of the other person, letting them know that, hey, I'm not happy before I step out. It's about, hey, you're not giving me no intimacy, because that's what he was crying for when he explained it. Because I know man lingo. That was his way of saying, I'm not getting no intimacy from you. And she probably wasn't hearing that. And she probably thinking like, well, I'm here too. Because again, men and women, like what Player saying, he thinks he get the bare minimum. And this is the flip side of what women do. they give the bare minimum as well. They think like, oh, I'm hugging and kissing you, that's it. No, but are we here? Are we here? Do we see each other? And if you wait too late and then try to throw a therapist in it, some people just out by then. If they found another person, they're gone. I mean, I've seen people recover from it, but you have to be willing to work at it. And if you're not willing to work at it, it's about, she did the right thing, pull the trigger. It's over. He does not want to be there anymore. So I'm happy that they both cutting it because they both seem like good parents. So I don't think. I don't know. I can't say it for sure, but I don't think he'll be nasty enough to do her wrong with the kids. So I don't think I'm gonna say that because the show's still going.
Schoolboy, what are your thoughts on Melanie finally saying enough's enough? I'm filing for divorce. I can't take it anymore. Being in quarantine together, at first it started off good. I mean, in April, they were making TikToks together and they were happy and dancing, and I was happy for them because I want to see a marriage work. And then all of a sudden, as we started approaching the summer months, things just took a nosedive, and then the rumors and divorce filings and all that other stuff. What are your thoughts, Schoolboy?
I mean, in order to make a relationship, marriage, anything, you gotta have two people that are willing to participate to actually make it work. I think Melody checked out a long time ago mentally. I think he been checked out physically. I don't think he ever was really there to be with the fact that she was very independent, she was very educated, she helped him, build. They had these companies and businesses, and they were doing all of this great stuff. But I honestly feel like they were never equally yoked from the beginning. I think as well that he don't love that mistress. He just wants someone. He seems like a man that is very. He probably was that kid that was picked last all the time. He wasn't very attractive growing up. He got older. He got muscles. He started working out. He started looking good. And, Melody was the image of the woman that would look good on his arm. She had the brain. She had the smarts. And putting them together, he knew that he could go really far with her. But I don't think it was ever a moment. They may have loved each other at some point, but I don't think he's got too much ego and arrogance. He's too much of a jerk. He can't see within himself that there's issues within him that he really needs to work on. Sitting in front of a therapist, and I want people to understand that, sitting in front of a therapist and talking to a therapist and saying, hey, I have problems, you're wasting the therapist's time if you're not going to actually do anything to change. So it's just like you're sitting there, you're paying a copay, you're talking to him. Not only is the therapist just sitting there listening to you, they're telling you to give you the tools and you're not really doing anything. His head is so far up his own behind that he can't see his own face and he can't see his own self and what he's done to his wife. I think that if Melody did not divorce him, he would have just kept dangling it along with both women, and he would have never made a decision with either one of them because he would have still been jumping between both of them. I'm glad that she finally got some wherewithal within her and just said, you know what, this is it. We didn't try working on this. We just keep giving CPR to a dead situation. I'm gone. That the woman that got that baby by him now, a man ain't never kept a baby ain't never kept a man. So, and I think the fun time girl point of her being fun because she didn't have a kid, she was fun, she was something to mess with and get away from his wife. He's not going to stay there either. He'll eventually cheat on her and he'll be with somebody else. He's got to deal with him first before he can be with anybody. And I did put a post today up on Instagram that said, that alluded to that. In order for you to give love to someone else, in order for you to have love, to love properly and to love someone else properly, you have to love yourself. And it's clear he don't love himself. So I'm happy that Melody getting on, go on about the business, man. Because you need to, and just get your full custody and let him go on about his business. He'll be back. If anything, he'll be begging her back, and she'll be moved on while he's still in that same space.
Yeah, well said. Crowned by Bria, thank you so much for the super chat. She says Martell wants to validate that the decision he made was right. He lacks accountability and gaslights Mel even when he knows he's wrong. The fact that he wants people to be on his side is childish. Absolutely. You know what? I'm going to have to disagree with the panel a little bit, or maybe Plez. I don't think he fell out of love with Melody and fell in love with the mistress. No, I don't think, because what Schoolboy said, he doesn't even love himself. So he can't love anyone until he learns how to love himself. And he is dealing with a lot of childhood issues and insecurities. But there's a lot of people that deal with those things and they don't cheat as a result of what they, insecurities or what they went through in their childhood. I think cheating is in someone's nature. And a cheater is someone it's a repetitive behavior. So no matter who they're with, there's no one that can make Martell stop cheating besides God, right? There's no woman out there, a physical being, that can make Martell stop cheating because it's in his nature to cheat. He's going to cheat. He's cheating right now on the mistress. Okay, I've had people giving me all kinds of shit. But people think I go deep down on the rabbit hole on stuff, and I can't. I'm spread thin. You can send me stuff. I'll look into it, but I don't want to report every single mistress he's with. I don't. He's sleeping with a bunch of women right now, and telling Ariane that he wants, planning a wedding. They want to get married. So yeah, cheating is in Martell's nature. He has a high adrenaline level. He's an adrenaline junkie, and sex is control and power, and he likes that. The thrill is in chasing skirts, not staying with anyone and settling down.
Well,
I don't know if I said that, I apologize. I definitely don't think he's in love with Ariane. He loves himself. I actually do think it. Everybody doesn't know what love is, right? And so, for what he thinks love is, the only person he loves is himself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it shows in his selfish actions. He wants everything to cater to him and to pleasure him. And once the person, the thing, whatever it is, no longer is doing that, then he's distracted and wants something else. Like Schoolboy said, Melody was the fun distraction. Now, again, male-female interactions, and I know we are fundamentally different, and this is where the selfishness comes into play. Mm-hmm. You have a child, so that child will require care, will take attention off of you. And because he's a narcissist, he can't handle that. Now he has to compete with his own children. So Ariane is not going to be the fun, sexy, even though she may turn it on here and there, try to keep him entertained. It still won't be the level of attention that Martell craves and needs because of the core things that he's missing. And until, like Schoolboy said, he went to the therapist, but it was like Candace at therapy. He didn't do any deep work. When the therapist clearly asked him questions, it was very surface-based responses. He wants to maintain an image at all costs, and he's not going to go deep enough to do the work. So he's going to continue to play with this woman and that woman, this woman. Mm-hmm. I do think some cheaters can change, but they have to do the work to change.
Right.
But for Martell, in the circle that he keeps, they uphold each other in that stuff. When they started going at each other's secrets, it's because they all do it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Birds of a feather flock together. That goes for men too. He's not being like Schoolboy said when she goes to the barbershop before in another video. Mm-hmm. No one in his circle is saying, "Hey man, you're wrong. You're messing up your family." They all laugh and joke about it. They all, it's the bro code. They figure out a way. They want them an Ariane too.
Not all the time. I have to respectfully disagree with that. Mm-hmm. And we some of us do hold brothers accountable, but it's like you said, it's up to them if they want to stop, because I'm not gonna de-police no other man. Like, and the same thing with women. I've been in women group, but they saying they keeping it, rated G for me because I'm a guy in there. Even though I had a bunch of girl cousins and I've been in their circles, but again, once I step out of it, it's gonna get much deeper. Until I hear from like my sister or something, they're like, "Oh no, it got worse when you left," and I'm like, "What?" And then it's just sometimes be like that. But I wanted to say this: he was, in my opinion, it feel like he was made to go to therapy instead of him wanting to do it. it was like, oh, the show, you know, I want to keep this image, so I'm supposed to go, or I need to go so it can look good. And I think he had to do that on his own, in my opinion. And for Martell, if he's listening to this, brother, just be a single bachelor. And enjoy, you know, being single, and don't enthrall yourself in another relationship. Because I tell men this, if you're not ready to settle down, don't do it because you like this girl. Because what you're doing is you're putting her well-being above your well-being, and then you're masking it, because what's end up going to happen is you don't really want to do that. Like for me, I want to settle down and have children. That's just me. I don't force nobody else. I got friends that are bachelors and all that other stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, you should do this, you do this. I said, no, right now I'm celibate. I'm just not doing that. That's what I'm doing. Now, what you do is your business. Right on, cheer you on. You know, get it in for me. Hey, you know, go ahead and do it. But you gotta know yourself, and he does not know himself. Because if you keep getting in these relationships, like, brother, if you want to be in a polygamous relationship, then say that. But that's not what you want to do, because you're not really committing to none of these women.
Absolutely. But like Ples said, and Schoolboy, everyone on the panel, he has to do the work. First of all, deal with his mental health issues. He's a narcissist, and narcissism is a very serious and psychological disorder. He wants it all. A man like Martell wants it all. He doesn't want to be single. He wants the wife, he wants the family, and he wants to chase skirts on the side because it's adrenaline rush. That's what excites him. That's what turns him on. Not monogamy. Not, okay, I'm single, but I'm gonna date a girl. That's boring. He wants it all. He wants the whole picture, the white picket fence, the 4 kids, the beautiful light-skinned wife, and the 4 hoes on the side. I don't mean to call them hoes, y'all. But that's what's fun. That's what turns them on. The sneaking around, the texting, the 3 phones,
Right.
Going to do a number 2 and taking the phone with him all the time. That's what turns him on. Yeah, I know him that. I know Martell. I know his type.
Well, Monica, if they accept the money, you are what you are. You know he's married, and he leaves $200 on the table. I mean, you are who you are.
But he was leaving more than $200, child. A whole BMW, paying for nursing school. He a good
$5,000 in cash overall over the years. Yeah,
it's like a high class prostitute to me.
If you want to play that role, play it. I mean, but here's my thing with women. If you're gonna play the side piece, my thing is, back in the day when a woman was a side piece, she kept her mouth shut. She got what she needed until she was done, and she walked away from the table. And when she was done, she had elevated and moved on, and she wasn't even staying there. My problem with women nowadays, you ready to go blast them, but it doesn't make you no better than him, because you the one was laying down with him. If you gonna play the role, be the side chick, understand what your role is, and stop trying to make it seem like, oh, he just did something outlandish to you. No, you knew what it was when you got into it. So deal with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now back in Huntsville, right? We're gonna take it right back down to Huntsville. Martell's mama is giving him the business, y'all.
I like his mama.
I do too. She keeps it so real. I like her a lot. Glenda, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. So Martell's mama explains to him, so he explains to his mama that he and Melanie are getting a divorce, and mama is holding her son accountable for his part in the demise of the marriage, which can we just take a moment to acknowledge how good that is? Because you really see that in any community.
Right.
Mamas usually coddle and make excuses and enable the behavior. But she's like, no, she tells him, you cheated and you need to take accountability for your part and why this marriage fell apart. Martell, to me, he reminds me of Jamal Bryant. They both have degrees in double speak. He's very manipulative too. Plus, sound off on that whole conversation with the mama and Martell.
Well, like you said, I'm here for it. His mother has been giving him the business for years. But again, Martell is so arrogant. He doesn't listen to anybody.
Yeah.
He just wants to try to persuade and throw whatever happened on the other person. You know, he's constantly, well, Mel did too. Well, you don't know what she did. And so here's the thing. I do believe a person should be entitled to their defense. But at the end of the day, a person's action nor their inaction can force you to do anything.
Okay.
If you are truly that unhappy with your relationship, then just, you go, you give your concerns and give the person time to change and see if they're willing to meet you and compromise. And if they don't, then it's time to throw in the towel. But to go create a whole nother relationship, a whole nother family, and then do detriment to your own family and not take your own accountability into effect, it's just craziness. So I'm glad you're right. Again, I'm from the Deep South. I was with my high school boyfriend. Sometimes his family would take up for him, would lie with the other girls and stuff like that. So it was good to see his mother hold him to the fire, even with the cameras on. And one thing about it, most people don't have the conversations they need to have before a marriage. A lot of men in the South, and not just men, like the South is so oppressive and repressive when it comes to marriage and relationships and things that both people need, particularly when it relates around sexuality. One of Martell's chief complaints was that his wife wouldn't engage in certain activities. And it's like, y'all dated for how many years before y'all got married? That's a conversation you should have beforehand. Or if she wasn't doing those things in the courtship, I don't know what makes people think that the marriage is going to be any different. And a lot of men in the South, when we talk about WAP and Cardi B and other women who are outwardly sexually expressive and emotive, they're the whores. They're the sluts. Those aren't who you marry. You marry the good girl. So you marry the good girl, but then you want to turn her into your S word. And then when the good girl doesn't turn into the S word, then you're out here cheating. That makes no sense. Marry who and what you like. Have those conversations up front. Don't just marry somebody because she's this virginal image, and then when she doesn't do the down and dirty things you want to do, now you mad. Now you're trying to force the girl to do it. The girl say she ain't never done it, she ain't doing it. Like, we got to start having real conversations in our communities, because when we don't, this is what happens.
Do you really believe that Melanie was in that marriage and not doing every single thing to please him from the rooter to the tutor? I highly doubt that. I
don't think. I mean, some people
lies
don't.
a lot. I think Martell lies a lot, and he's trying to drum up anything. So now he's saying too that Melanie cheated, which is a lie. Melanie did not cheat on that man. He just, to me, will use any excuse to excuse his behavior. But maybe she wasn't doing everything. We're not in there, Benjamin. I don't know. But they've been married quite a long time. I can't imagine for the life of me she wasn't looking everything from the top to the bottom. I mean, it would shock me.
Everybody doesn't,
everybody doesn't.
Things, there are mental boundaries that's and physical boundaries that some people are not willing to do.
They're not.
So I just, and that's fine. Like, it's fine for her to have those things. Just because you're married doesn't mean you have to do any and everything. But certain things I think are very, I don't call it basic, but yeah. So, but there are some people that really don't do much outside of like missionary.
Yep.
So I need to know that you're that type of person up front, baby, because it ain't gonna work. I'm sorry.
It ain't gonna work for you, class, huh?
Preach. She
but
don't
what I'm saying is, if you accept that, don't. Again, people think a ring and a sheet of paper are going to magically change something. That goes with the cheating too. If he's been cheating on you for 5 years of the relationship, sis, The ring ain't gonna magically make him be faithful. He might try for 6 months to a year, but if it's in him, it's in him. So you have to confront who and what you're dealing with up front, not think marriage is gonna make it. It literally does not, unless they do the work. So unless you get to a place where you say, baby, we're married now, I want to explore more things with you. There's a way you approach, especially a woman, opening herself up to other things and trusting you. It all goes back to trust.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't necessarily blame Melody for not doing any and everything, because
Mm-hmm.
you know, he
Yeah.
he out doing any and everything everywhere else. So when you come home and now I don't want to do anything and everything to you too.
Yeah.
It's not
That's a
special.
good point. That is a good point. Cook Slay Love, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, I used to work at my uncle's barber shop, a fly on the wall to men's conversations. Ooh. Majority of men don't discourage men from cheating. A lot encourage it. Yeah, sadly. Bishop Sound Off, what are your thoughts on Martell's mama giving him the business?
I respect a mother like that, because she did it with Melody the first season. And she kept it real with her. She like, if you're gonna be with a man that that sleeps around, just be with him. Don't keep bringing it up. She's told her that too. But she has to make that decision. They told her at that reunion. I respect the mother like that because my mother's like that, and we have in-depth conversations. We're very close. That's my good friend, and the thing about it is that she's holding him accountable. And I want to say this. I can see right through Martell. His father not being there is a defense mechanism of why he does what he does. Because he knows he feels that incompleteness of male validation that he did not receive. I don't know if he was raised by uncles or cousins, but it looked like that lack thereof. Because I know a lot of dudes who raised in single parent households, if they had big homies, big cousins, or a father figure, or even an uncle, they wouldn't be doing some of the stuff Martell is doing. So it lets me know that he did not have that male parental figure around him, in my opinion. I don't know the inner workings, but it comes off like that. He has glass alinity, and it's almost like masculinity, but it's very glass-like, and it can be shattered very easily because he did not fortify his masculinity. So he's trying to cover it with woman to woman, and he's going to wake up one day and say, what have I done with myself? He's going to have that moment, because I have friends that had that waking up moment, like, bruh, like they was at 45 and they're like, man, I don't know what the world I'm doing with myself. And his journey gonna have to start late in life, but I wish he could start it now. But some dudes have to go through that pain, and him doing the blame game is childish, and is very insensitive to his children, because now you're making up stuff about their mother. Now, I think Melanie is the type to get back at him. She seems like that from first season. And I think she tried to do that to hurt his feelings. But when people do that to hurt the other person, they hurt themselves. So he probably do know something. She might have one little affair. Probably one of the girls should say, that's why I slept with so-and-so. And he's like, oh, you did, really? And I could see that with her, because she's a type that's trying to get his attention. And she's doing all this and all this other stuff. And it's not going to work. And now she's at the point where she knows she needs to leave, which I say kudos to her. Just leave. Now, I'm not sure she did that or not. This is a liar telling us this, but I don't find it far-fetched if that is true. But I just, honestly, he needs to get help. And even as a single mother, it seemed like she did an awesome job, because he's a well-rounded dude, but he needs more work on certain areas. But even she can't teach him how to be a man at the end of the day.
Facts. Linda, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. We appreciate you. Thank you. Schoolboy, what are your thoughts on, Mama Holt holding Martell accountable for his behavior?
Now, what K. Michelle say? You can't raise a man. his mom couldn't raise him to be a man, and you can't make grown folks take accountability. Accountability lacks a lot in our community. Men and women, I don't care what your sexual preference is, who you got in your bedroom, who you don't got in your bedroom. We just don't hold ourselves accountable. And if you don't hold yourself accountable, you can't expect your partner to hold you accountable, because your partner's not going to be able to reinforce what you should be reinforcing with yourself. I think that he is who he is. I mean, my daddy was a Rolling Stone. I'm surprised I don't have more siblings than what I had. He just could not be faithful. And then he had a mother that upheld him in his wrong. His mom upheld him. The difference is Martell's mother doesn't uphold him. She tells him that he's wrong, but it's also you telling them that they're wrong. This is a grown man. So until he wakes up and has that realization, like Bishop said, until he wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm tired of running. I need to deal with me. This is who he is. And any woman that comes in direction of him should accept him for what he is, and know that you ain't gonna get much than what you got, and that's it. His lack of ability to be honest is even more sickening, because you just can't even tell a woman, like, look, man, it's gonna be you, her, and her. Now you could choose to deal with me, but this is how I am. If he would just be like that, then you give the woman the chance to decide on whether she wants to deal with you, because she knows exactly what it is up front, and she ain't got no surprises. Oh, well, he gonna be out here line. Well, you know what, sir, you're not for me. Let me go ahead and do what I need to do and meet someone that's on the same level. And it dials back to what Player said earlier. People don't have conversations in dating. We don't court anymore. We don't date anymore. You know, you have a few conversations and somebody moving their hefty bags up into your apartment, and then you got y'all all together, you know, kicking it, you know. So it's like, we gotta stop looking at the signs from the beginning, not paying attention, and then still getting married, you know, and then expecting it. And I do think, you know, Melody, I think Melody, she look, you know, the smart ones is always freaky. She probably was doing everything that she could in the beginning, but if you out here slanging that thing, I don't want to come home and get nothing from you. I don't know
Right.
what you did.
Exactly.
I you know, and I want to add to what Schoolboy says. Is she frozen to y'all?
Yeah, I think she can. I'm gonna
Okay.
bring you out, Schoolboy,
Okay.
and bring you back in. You keep freezing, honey.
And I want to say this: a certain man gonna bring out a certain thing out of one woman. And if you're not that dude to bring that out of her, because she might not be into some stuff he wants her to do, but you know, there are certain, like Player said, there's certain barriers that we won't do. Like there's like a couple things on my list I will never do sexually. No, thank you. I don't want that. And and there are certain things some women just will not speak into the Johnson. They won't do it. I know a few women that's a no-go for them. And we will not be compatible on that level. And there's some dudes that will not, you know, talk to the box. They just won't do it. And you know, and that's just their preference, you know what I mean? And you know, some, like what Player said, some people like basic mission. I met a couple that is like that. They said, "Oh no, we're very, very basic," but all their children are freaky deaky. You know, it's my parents basically, and they're like, "Oh my god, we done raised 4 freaks." But that's how we are. But my grandparents on both sides are freaks, so you know, it skipped a generation. But that we openly talk about sex, especially with my grandmother on my mom's side. She talks about sex. My mom don't. You know, she got nervous and she now open to talk about it. But before, she like, "Oh my God, mom, no." But with the grandchildren, we all sit around her. She like, "Baby, I'm telling you, it is good." And she was a missionary. It's the next best thing to the Holy Ghost, baby. It gives you chills and thrills up down the spine. And that and she said, and us women, we love it. You do it right, you hit the right thing, you can get a lot of things. And she taught me that, you know, taught us that at a young age. Us boys heard it, and it resonated with me that, you know, you have to be open and intimate with your partner. You know what I mean? You can't be sexually regressive. Now, people think just because they slinging a lot of pipe that they're not sexually regressive. You are, because you're running from intimacy. You think just, oh, let me shoot up the club, let me do this, that, third, but you're not connecting. It's a connection that you're missing.
Yep. It's a reason why there's so many women who have never, achieved the big O. Especially, like I said, in the South, the church, your image, especially Huntsville is a very small town. So I can see Melody being taught at a very early age that good girls don't do certain things, that's dirty, that's this, that's that. Some people are able to break out, particularly when you go to college. You learn, your worldview expands, your mindset expands.
So I don't know.
And it doesn't
Sorry about
necessarily
that.
that's okay.
I've
It
done
doesn't
that.
make things again, you can see it just in these conversations that we've been having, speaking of Shakana, about T.I. and Tiny or about Lori Harvey. The number of women who attack other women who are more free with their sexuality is astonishing. But it all goes back to that core fundamental teaching of sex is bad, sex is wrong, or on a church level, sex is only for married adults, and some people even teach that it's only to procreate. You should not get enjoyment out of it. So, until you explore things and read and expand your own mind and come up with your own beliefs of, you and God, or what you feel is right for yourself, your relationships, your marriage, you're going to be stuck in that box. And like I said, a lot of the guys are taught to get a woman that has a certain image. But the reality is they really want the woman who is doing XYZ. And so they think that they're entitled to both. Like when he called Ariel a peasant. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to demean her and make her seem like she's lower than his wife, but you chose the peasant and you keep choosing the peasant. So something's good.
Players, you right about that. What we call it, where we are in my sphere, is the Madonna whore complex. And shout out to Alan Roger Curry. He's an awesome author from the book of Mode One. And he talks about the Madonna whore complex. They want a host, and they want some freak, jump off the chandelier, type of woman that's going to do it, every freaky thing that they can think of, but then go home and treat her like she don't have needs. They do that.
Absolutely. I just wanted to mention this comment from one of our teacups. Linda, Monica, I was trying to send a message along with my super chat. I don't know what happened. I have 19 brothers and I'm around 8 of them all the time. And I don't play that foolishness at all. I keep it 100. Thank you for doing that. 19 brothers though. Wow. Okay. That's a
Your
lot.
mama wasn't playing. Your mama was getting it in.
19.
Or daddy, somebody.
The Duggars going on over there or something. Goodness gracious. Schoolboy, do you want to chime in on the mama holding Martell accountable?
I just wanted to add on to what Ples said earlier about women not reaching that climax. There's many a times that I've dabbled with straight women and had given them their first climax because they had never felt that with a man, or they never had an intimacy level like that. And I think that's sometimes people think just because, just like what Bishop said, you run up in there beating up the club, that ain't it. You need to take time in that intimacy. But a lot of people are scared to have intimacy because that means you have to be vulnerable. And we are taught in our community not to be vulnerable and not to feel. So when you close yourself off to not being able to feel and being vulnerable, you can't unfortunately, you can't articulate and you can't meet her on that level, and you don't understand her needs because you're not able to break your own walls down because you're so afraid of your own hurt and your own pain. So, sex is a powerful thing if used properly.
It can be also a very dangerous thing too. Um, we're going to keep this train moving. But teacups, if you haven't done so already, like the video, also subscribe to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, bang that notification bell. So over at Leticia and Marsau's, now am I pronouncing his name right? Is it Marsau?
Marsau.
Marsau. Okay, because people love to correct me. But in
French,
my mind,
they
it's
French.
Marsau. Over at Leticia and Marsau's house, Leticia's career has been put on the back burner again due to the pandemic. She's homeschooling the kids. They're going to school online. And her and Marsau joke about hiring a male nanny. And then they start talking about the whole impending divorce. I like them as a couple. I know. Marsau gets a lot of slack for being very traditional in his stances, and but to be honest with you, I think it's all like fun, in my opinion. I don't really feed into it too much. I kind of like a man like him, but there has to be a balance now. Okay, there has to be a balance. But I do like his kind of traditional thinking in some aspects of it. I really do. Look at Pleasant's face. I could tell she like, girl, wait. You're like, what? Yeah, I do like to play a little submissive role in a relationship at times. I do.
That's your personality, though.
I do.
Some girls ain't never seen it, so they like, I'm not with that. And then some dudes been raised exactly like them girls. They like, oh, well, we 50-50. They do that. So
well, there's a lot of power and control and submission, believe it or not. But Ples, sound off on your thoughts.
Well, so I want to disagree a little with that because I'm actually very submissive in private relationships. However, you have to submit to the right person. Marsau is a complete asshole. Sorry, I know we ain't supposed to cuss, but I don't know no other way to say it. There's a true leader, a true head will always honor and respect the asset that you have on your team. Leticia is nothing but an asset. And it's one thing to be traditional, but it has to be for the right reasons. And I'm sorry, I know Marsau's skeletons haven't fallen all the way out yet, but I don't think Martell was saying stuff just to say it. I ain't really gonna go into fraternity sorority life on it. I'll just say that everything about Marsau reads as a cheater. And I believe he keeps Leticia in a box so that she doesn't become wary of all the dirt that he does. If she's at home locked up with them children all day, she ain't gonna get around and mingle in the city and have nobody whisper into her ear of what her husband is really out here doing when he claims he's on these trips. The disrespect that he shows her, that he shows his mother-in-law, although Miss Wanda goes way too far and does not have appropriate boundaries, Leticia needs to check that. But I think Wanda thinks she needs to stick up for her child because Leticia will not have her own voice. She's trying to find it, and I applaud her for that. But just the way he talks down to her, the way he's unsupportive of her in the past, it just I want him to be better.
He's not your cup of tea. Yeah,
maybe I've been in the South. I grew up here, between Mississippi and Louisiana. I've seen many men that fit his mold in his dynamic. And I'll just say from my experience, everything about him reads that he is trying to keep her contained only for his purposes. They can be, there's a way that you can be a power couple and the male still be the alpha. He's always going to be an alpha, but he truly treats her like a beta that's beneath his shoe. Those children, I understand wanting your wife at home while the children, until they get into school, but the kids are all in school. What does he want her to sit there and do all day? Like it's time for her to start coming into her own, and it's not a threat to him. He seems like the type of man that's taking it as a threat to him and what he brings to the table. He will always be the primary breadwinner, but she should also have her piece of recognition or her piece of fulfillment for her as well. And that's what he's missing to me. But the scene was fine. Them throwing shade at the Holtz is regular. Again, I never want to see a family fall apart. But for them at this point, I think it would be just desserts if all of his stuff starts flying out.
Right. Okay. Well, definitely you and Marsau wouldn't be a match made in heaven at all. No way. You're not. No. Cool boy. Sound off on Leticia and Marsau's, their battle that they got going on. It's a battle.
I mean, I agree with players 100%. I've seen men like that, and they keep you at home because they don't want you out in the street. Because if you out in the street and you know what they doing, I think he's no different than Martell. He's just he's able to control Tisha more than Martell is able to control Melody, because Melody ain't gonna let Martell control her to that degree, to where you ain't gonna tell me I can't do what I want to do or pursue my dreams or hold me in a box. You ain't finna do that. She's very, very submissive, and she just, I don't know her. I don't want to be offensive by what I'm saying, but she feels a little like her mental capacity is a little bit kept back. And I think he likes that because mentally she's a lot slower than a woman that would be more or less on his level, that would just like kind of like, you going where? Huh? What time? You what? You done been gone how many days? Like, she doesn't question him. Wanda does the questioning when she should do the questioning. So that's why I feel like Wanda's oversteps the boundaries, because she already see what kind of man Marsau is. And Tisha's kind of like, oh, well, I don't think he doing that. I think that she really does need to find her voice. I think she's struggling trying to find her voice because she doesn't want to upset him. Because if she upsets him, she'll feel like it will probably snowball into kind of what Martell and Melody have. But I think she does need to find her voice, because in my soul, I do believe that man is cheating. I don't care how he presents himself. I do believe he's cheating, and I do believe that they've done it. Him and Martell have done it around each other. That relationship don't seem right to me.
Well, in all fairness, we haven't seen any evidence presented thus far. I mean, I know Melody and Martell had spread that rumor that Marsau was sleeping with or cheated with Melody's stylist, but that was false. Okay. But in all fairness, we haven't seen any concrete proof or evidence that Marsau is a cheater, though. I will say that.
And some people are very good at it. Some men,
if he is cheating, because we don't know if he is. Yeah. Just because we don't like him now, don't mean we ain't gonna put that on that man now. We don't know if he is.
You shouldn't do that.
I'm not putting that on him. I'm just saying that he
seems like he might be to you, right? Yeah. I get that. That's your opinion. He seems that way to you, like he's a cheater. Yeah. Okay. Bishop, what are your thoughts on Marsau and Leticia? You think she's slow? I want y'all to comment in the chat to let us know. What are your thoughts? Do you find Marsau chauvinistic? Do you think he's too controlling? Do you think he's cheating? Do you think Leticia's slow and she's trapped? Let us know. Or do you think their marriage is perfectly healthy? He likes what he likes and he's found the perfect match for him. What do y'all think?
It's not healthy. And the reason why I'm gonna say this is because they're not a match, because she wants to spread her wings and grow outside of the house. And it's nothing wrong with that, because my parents always told me, you have something that you like, son, and you make sure your wife has something that she likes. And both my parents set me down and taught me that. And they said, because you don't never want to get bored of each other. And the problem is with her, and I'm gonna say this because I seen the first season, the first maybe 3 or 4 episodes. She made a mistake by going in an agreement with him, saying that she's gonna stay home and be with the kids, and this, that, and the third. And the reason why I'm gonna say it's a mistake because it's something she didn't want to do. And a lot of women, like what Player was saying earlier, people need to have this conversation. What kind of person are you? Because there are some homebody women that love to be at home. That's just their thing. There's some men that's a homebody. I'm a homebody. When I go to work and I used to go to school, my sanctuary is be at home, you know, and I can even lock myself in my chambers for a whole day, especially if I'm just chilling, because that's just the type of person that I am. Now, the other part of me, I like to go out ever so often. I have to break that routine. So, you know, you have to, you know, mesh with somebody that can fit you. You know what I mean? You got to understand what's going on. But I'm gonna say this. Shocking enough, there are men that are like are Marsau. You know, if you want to be French. But there are guys that are like him who are not cheating. Because you remember the mother-in-law said the first season, she said, I used to follow him around. And she said, guess what I found? Nothing. And she, you know, she don't like that man. If she found something, she'd be like, ran to her daughter, like, girl, you need to leave him. But she didn't find nothing. You'd be surprised. Some men are like him that are very meticulous. And I've met them before. Never cheat on their wife. But they were just staunch, you know, real hardcore, down south, southern, you know, traditional type of guys. To some women, they'll call them male chauvinists. Some people call me chauvinist. I'm like, well, thank you, because I'm just a southern gentleman like that. But I'm not as hardcore as he is. But he's hardcore, and that's who she found. She knew what she was getting. Part of her found that attractive, that submissive part. But the other part of her was like, I don't really want to be. But what I don't like what he did, and this it irked my soul the first episode, is when she said, can you know, I got my license. I need to do something with it. You know, and he said, I thought it was something that was, you know, you just get and it pretty much get it off my back and you accomplish it. And I didn't think he was really serious about it. So I didn't want you to do nothing. I'm just paraphrasing. And when he said that, I'm like, what's the point of her getting them license? Fam, get some money out of her. You know what I mean? Push your wife to make some money. It's all going to the same household. When them kids at school, she could be showing homes to other people. She'll say, these are my set hours. And I'll be working for like 6 hours. And at this cutoff time, I can't do no more at that point in time because I'm picking up my children. So I'm like, you want her sitting at home just twiddling her thumbs and don't do nothing? I'm trying to create sources of income where if I do run a business, hey, baby, can you run out, you know, operations? You know what I mean? We got children. Hey, I'm going to need you to be over that. That's your business. Keep it. You can do whatever you want with that business. Because I need her to do something. I just don't get where some dudes like, I don't want her to work and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well, cool. That's cool and all, but she's going to get bored after a while. And I'm like, I don't get that.
Yeah, good points. Yeah, you know, we all are all over the place in the chat. I'm seeing some people saying that he is a male chauvinist pig. Some people in the chat are saying Leticia is slow. And some people are saying their marriage is perfectly fine. So, you know, T Needs, thank you so much for the super chat. She says Tisha needs to find her voice and have the courage to pursue her dreams. She will end up to regret it. Okay.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
She does have a voice. He's not listening. There's a big difference.
She's been speaking out a lot lately
as
the show has, you know, progressed on. Yeah, maybe what the marriage started out being she was fine with, but now it's like she wants more. But she's very docile about it, right? She speaks in a very low tone. So I could see why some people say it looks like she's trapped in that marriage. But hey, you know, I don't know. I can't say it's working for them 100%, but you know, I don't know. All right, y'all. We're going to keep this train moving right along. So over at Destiny's house, Destiny's a new cast member. She just had a baby, and the baby's so cute. And Martell pays her a visit. And he's throwing Melody under the bus, y'all. Okay. Claiming she's the real cheater in the relationship. But Destiny and Melanie have become close. See, it started out as Martell and Destiny being friends, but now it seems like she's more Melody's friend. So she starts taking up for Melody, and she's not buying Martell's version of events. Ples, sound off. What are your thoughts?
Martell just goes to show more of his slip. He is the Candace of
Yeah.
Love and Marriage
Yeah.
Huntsville. He needs people to be on his side, honey. He is on a recruitment tour. And it is the epitome of what Diddy used to say back in the day, B-A-ness. He a whole if we gonna go French, Heaux in these streets, because no man goes to a woman, especially,
I
and
know.
says, "Oh, we're breaking up. You better be on my side. You were my friend for 20 years." Again, it just shows you how childish he is. No one does that. And if you love your wife the way you claim you do, and respect her, and love your children, furthermore, you would not be going from place to place to try to make new alliances and discredit your own wife or bring dirt to her name. Your people don't really underestimate the power of humanity. You're able to be friends with both people. You don't have to choose. It doesn't have to be ugly. You can, like I said, I don't think Martell is a horrible person. I see a lot of good qualities in him, sometimes, a lot of redeeming qualities. Um, when they would fight back and forth between the Holts and the Scotts in prior years, I often admired that Martell was the one who was willing to compromise, who was willing to say, "Hey man, we were wrong, y'all were wrong. Let's get this back on track. Let's make the business and the partnerships work. Let's look at the bigger picture for what we came here to do." So I think that that's a great thing to have as friends. The way he tries to manipulate it in his marriage is what I don't like, because he then wants you to just overlook the things that he's done. You can overlook some things in a friendship. In a marriage, is totally different. So I think instead of him trying to degrade Melody, he should just go in and say, "Hey, even though our marriage is breaking up, I just want you to know we're really good friends, and I want to continue our friendship and be cordial." And that's
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
But for him to try to go and,
Yeah.
talk about the ins and outs of their marriage and then persuade Destiny to say, "Oh, you should be my friend, not hers," it's silly.
He's childish. What kind of man does that? It makes me wonder, what's really going on with Martell? Where did he pick up this characteristic from? I don't know any man that sits around and gossips about their wife and trying to pull people on his side and stuff. Schoolboy, sound off. What's really going on with Martell Holt?
It's a lot of straight men that do that.
Really?
I just call them I call them messy ass queens, because that's what they act like.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said, girl.
You acting like
I ain't want to say it. I just said what's really going on.
Acting like a whole ass messy ass queen. Like, why are you even sitting up here? And first of all, even if I am breaking up, if I'm breaking up with my significant other and we got a mutual friend that's cool, the mutual friend ain't got ish to do with what we got going on. And that person should be mature enough to be able to say, "Hey, look, fool, I'm be friends with you. I'm be friends with her. I ain't getting in the middle of your mess. Don't come over here talking about her. She don't need to come over here talking about you, because I'm not in the middle of either one of it." Now, if y'all want to come over here and talk about, get kiki and talk about the kids and, something positive that's going on, cool. I don't have to sit here and listen to the mess, because that has nothing to concern me with directly. And I think that's where friends sometimes don't draw the line in the sand. When you become the friend with both people, you have to say, "Look, I'm not in your relationship. I don't care about your relationship. That ain't got nothing to do with me. When we hang out, I don't want to hear about you talking about her. I don't want to hear you talking about him. I have nothing to do with that. Keep me out of it. And you have to learn, sometimes you have to learn to put those boundaries up yourself. Because if you don't put those boundaries up, then people feel like I can come over here and dog my wife out. Well, my thing about that is also, you've been married to her how long? Now all of a sudden she trash. Now all of a sudden she this and she's that, because now she got the testicular fortitude to get rid of your punk ass. Excuse me. But so now you got an attitude and you want to be mad. It was really be made that as a man you went over there and you did that. I totally, I never really respected Martell anyway, because he got them issues, but this further put the nail in the coffin for me, because I'm just like, why are you telling this woman and talking about your wife like regardless? Do you not realize your kids are going to see this on national TV? They're going to see the mess you pulled online. Like, you don't care about nobody but yourself. And that scene just further proved that for me, Monica. But he's just a messy ass queen. That's all.
Martell, how you doing? Bishop, what are your thoughts on Martell trying to recruit people over to his team, throwing his wife under the bus, claiming she cheating, and just being a messy, gossipy bitch?
See, now I didn't get that far in the show because I had some things to do. But for him to do that, I know a lot of dudes like that. They lack manhood and masculinity. You know what I mean? And they want to be gossip queens. And I'm like, fam, what is you doing? Because I'm the type of dude. There's some guys like us, and there's always one guy in the barbershop or in the circle where they shut up. I'm one of those dudes, so I'm gonna be a truth serum. Now I'm gonna tell you when you're right, and I'm gonna tell you when you're wrong. Now, with him, he hasn't got that tough G check by a man. Because if it was a dude, you notice he went to a woman. He didn't go to no dude. Because someone in the group with a G checked him like, bro, why are you telling me all this? Like, why do I need to even know this about your woman?
That's
like for real.
That's
like when it comes to certain things, I don't share, because that's none of nobody's business, especially someone that I'm supposed to be intimate. That's why I said they lack intimacy. Because if I'm intimate with you and vulnerable and I'm telling you things, you telling me things, ain't nobody gonna know about this. Ain't nobody gonna know nothing. And it, to me, it reminds you like kiss and tell. Oh, I did this with her. I shut my mouth. Some of the best things are best kept secret. And I love it because it's a great secret too. But it's a childish mentality to run around saying that, because if you in your mind you're trying to get back with her, you further pushing her away. Like, oh no, I don't need to be with this type of person, because this ninja gonna run around and tell all my business. So him doing that with that chick, good for you, Melody. If you watching this, go and don't look back.
Yeah.
Get you a man, get you a real southern gentleman. No, not this type. That's tainted goods.
Yeah. Even the stuff he told Ariane that she told me, that he didn't like the fact that she wore them wigs on her head because he likes to play in Ariane's hair. He could feel her scalp. He didn't like the makeup she wore. He didn't like how she dressed. Why are you telling the side chick all this stuff about your wife? Like I said earlier, Martell, how you doing? Because he is just doing the most, okay? He's queening out big time.
Oh my God.
All right, y'all. We're going to keep this train moving. So Leticia and Marsau are opening a bar/lounge. Kudos to them. I know people was clowning their house on Twitter during the show, but guess what? They're conservative. The house that they bought is within their budget and it works. And now they're investing their money in businesses. All right, y'all. See, y'all be messy. Martell drops in and he wants to make amends, but doesn't really apologize, but kinda. See, he trying to recruit them on his side too. Like, I know y'all seen the headlines But, I was fed lies about y'all. See how manipulative? And that's why I repeated that stuff. Leticia and Marsau are skeptical and they're keeping an eyebrows raised. Like, okay, Martell, or I might call him Marsha. Okay. Please sound off on this.
Well, again, we did same thing that he did with Destiny, except this time he was trying to go a little deeper. He knows that Melody truly has issues with Leticia and Marsau. It's like they were natural born enemies at this point. So he's really trying to, gut her where it hurts. He's trying to say, oh, look, we made up. You just the one on the outs now. He's trying to make her feel like an outsider amongst their friend group. He's trying to alienate her. He doesn't like that people like her. And this is actually similar to Marsau. The real issue is Martell feels like he built Melody, and Melody surpassed him.
Yep.
Melody gets all of the attention now. Melody is the star of the couple, and his little ego cannot handle that, honey. When she was getting all of those awards and accolades, it wasn't enough that he was there supporting her. He benefits when she benefits because they're married. They're business partners on pretty much everything, or at least they were. So her shining is him shining. But he didn't like that. Her star began to outshine his. So now he is doing anything he can to dim that light, honey. He is going to throw all kind of dirt on her and try to make her feel like an outsider in her own community. So that's all he was trying to do. And somewhat Leticia and Marsau knew. Leticia, when he tried, again, lacking accountability, when my wife was telling me all this, no, sir. Last year, Melody was still trying to at least be outwardly professional and show up at the cast events and stuff like that. Martell refused to go. She was trying to persuade him, come on, let's go. We're a couple. Let's show up together. He wouldn't even go. He was so just bitter and childish. So now he's trying to double back, crawfish, and make it seem like it was all her fault. So he's just, again, he shows at every turn how weak his ego really is and how much he needs attention and to be right in front of the world.
Yep, absolutely. I also think he's trying to use this cheating angle as leverage in the divorce because she filed first. So she has the upper hand right now. And in his rebuttal, if you say enough and you spread the rumor enough, people are going to start to believe it. For instance, T.I. innocent. I got so many DMs this weekend. You need to look into this. And we're going to cover part 2 Monday, but you need to look into that because he's innocent. Okay, if y'all say so. Anyway, Schoolboy, your thoughts on Marsha trying to recruit these people over to his side and trying to say his wife fed him lies and all this other stuff.
Marsha need to go sit his ass down somewhere. You going to people place of business while they trying to get their business together, and kudos to them. And what people need to understand on Twitter and any of these other pieces of social media, when people are trying to make multiple streams of income, you dial down other areas so that you have money to invest in other areas so that you can make more money and so that you can afford the dream house without having to make a large down payment because your credit is right. Okay, but I'm gonna get past that. Him coming up in that business, Monica, that was a hot mess. Why are you? First of all, you have dogged the Scots out so bad and said so much derogatory mess, whether it was what Melody told you or not. You was acting like a whole Mitch out here in these streets. Because you didn't have to repeat what your wife told you. You could have kept that as bedroom talk, and you could have left it there. You could have got your behind up, and at them events went last year, been a man, and did what you had to do. But your ego don't allow you to be able to look at anything outside of yourself and really check yourself. You are so arrogant he's such an asshole. And I hate to cuss like that, Monica, but he is such an asshole. I have never seen somebody that stupid. And then you come in there and play on their emotions and think that, oh, I'm just gonna sit up here and believe that all of a sudden you're sorry. No, dude, you're doing that to try to make your ex-wife look bad, and you look dumb on camera doing it.
Listen, Martell would make anybody cuss, okay? It's hard not to cuss when you're talking about him, girl.
That was just dumb. Like, and they looked at him like, okay, go ahead, girl.
Right. Mm-hmm. Sure, blame it on Melody. Bishop, what are your thoughts on that scene, basically? Did you see that part? He stormed into their business talking about showing up unannounced. Leticia looked like, damn, should I call the cops? Or, she looked kind of scared.
I'm gonna ride off what y'all talking about because I didn't watch the second half. So all I gotta say is Marsha. Okay, let's get into it for real. Okay, from what I'm hearing and what I'm gathering, you bring in the information, what you're telling me, he wants to come and try to get them on his side. Well, let's start with this. I don't tell my business to no one. So first off, whatever happened between me and my wife is between me and my wife. I'm here to talk to you guys. Just talk. Why do you need to go around spreading your personal business to your friends, especially the friends that y'all try to bury? Now, this is where I'm gonna get on Melanie about that. She was headstrong with running that smear campaign that first year, because I was looking at her like, oh, I can't stand her. But now he's running a smear campaign on her, and I'm like, oh my God, like y'all people need to hush. Like y'all just trying to ruin friendships, and now you're trying to ruin each other, and y'all got kids, 4 kids, and y'all not thinking about this, what y'all doing. So it right now it's just like now I feel bad for her, because at first I didn't feel too bad for her before. But now that I'm seeing what he's doing, it's like, that's why I said run, girl, run to the hills. So he's a terrible leader of the household. And I'm going to say this because you lead by example. And if you're not leading quite correctly by example, your home is going to be in a disarray. My dad and my grandpa told me that. You lead by example, young man. If you're off balance, your whole house is going to be off balance, and you can't get mad at her if she's acting not accordingly what you want, because you're not leading correctly. So you can't get mad at the followers who ain't listening to you. So it's just like he's all over the place. Now his kids are going to see this, and they're not going to follow him. They're not.
Yeah, it's really pathetic to watch him in action, and embarrassing. Like if that was my man, my ex-husband, soon to be ex-husband, it's just embarrassing, because you really, your slip is showing.
Oh my God,
big time.
Monica, people forget. Like I'm glad that some of y'all don't know men who do this, but lots of men do it. And I just want Melody to be strong, to keep her decision, to keep moving forward with this divorce. Let it go, sis. It's not going to change. Her theme song needs to be Chrisette Michele, before she got canceled, had a song about this called Blame It On Me. Blame it on me. Say it's my fault. Say I'm a liar. I'm a cheater. Baby, say anything you got to say to make yourself sleep better at night, and I'm going to keep on walking.
Mm-hmm. I really don't care.
Amen.
Girl, if you need to put it on repeat, get on good old Pandora or Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you like. And every time you get weak, play some of that.
Players, I used to play that when I got into a breakup. I said, blame it on me. And it's a woman singing it, don't tell nobody.
Because that's what they're gonna do, baby. They try to, I know plenty of people that try to drag you down through the mud, but when you've had enough and you're tired, it don't matter. Baby, say whatever you gotta say. I'm gone.
Say whatever you gotta say. You're right about that. It's just, God, I don't like when men act like that. I really don't. It bothers me. You know, or even women in a relationship. You shouldn't be going around trying to recruit people to your side and badmouth. You slept with this man. You laid down with this man. I mean, he wasn't bad back then. You know, you
Absolutely.
had kids with this man, children. Listen.
Absolutely. It's very unbecoming. That was one of the reasons why I initially didn't like Portia, because she tried to drag Cordell and then call him gay and all this stuff. But girl, you laid up with him. He can't be that gay. Like, I hate when people do that, because it really only makes you look bad, except, to the other crazy people that you might be telling this to. But to normal, rational, well-adjusted people, it makes you look bad, because all relationships have their good and bad. I'm sure if I went and asked your partner about you, they would say some not so good things, because that's what happens when Mad Day comes. But it only makes you look crazy because you stayed there. So something was good at some point. Let it go. Don't air your dirty laundry and then get mad when people are talking about it, because you let us in. You gave us the door.
And it, to piggyback off of that, it just looks crazy. It looks really insane. Like you you picked this person, and I remember both of my aunts who are divorced. They said this: I would never talk bad about my kid's father because I chose him, and to talk about him is to talk about them. So they would never hear nothing bad about him coming from me. Now they might hear from someone else, but they ain't gonna never hear from me. And their kids are like in their 30s and 40s and 20s. They still don't speak bad about them. One had passed away, but the other one, she still don't speak bad about him. She's like, I got nothing but love for your father. She don't say nothing, even though he left her while she was had a 4-month-old baby, and the oldest one was like, I want to say 3, and he just never came back. But she said she was bitter for 13 some years, but she never spoke bad about them, bad about the father to the kids, and he talked to them on the phone and send them money and stuff like that. But that's the thing about a manhood and womanhood. It derives from the word adulthood. Adulthood means you are mature and you're grown up. And I say this a lot on my channel. A lot of people have not went through manhood and womanhood. There's a bunch of grown children with grown bodies with a child mentality. I want to get my groove on. I want to go to the club with my daughter and my son. What the world am I hanging around some kids for? I'm sorry. At a certain age, you said a club, you need to be at a jazz lounge. Kind of calm it down a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, if you want to twerk and do some stuff, y'all want to do some freaky stuff at the family reunion and have a little fun and be funny, then that's cool. But I'm not hanging around no kids. I'm 33 years old. I don't want to hang around no 23-year-old. I don't. God bless y'all. I'm mature. I'm reserved. I did house parties. I didn't do clubs, and I wish I did, but I didn't do them. But I don't have no desire for it. I'm just cool. Let me go hang out with some people, go on, group trips and stuff like that. But I'm not hanging around no kids. I'm just not.
Exactly. Jazz club, not the hip hop club. Some spoken word or something like that. Grown folk stuff, Absolutely. We're gonna take some callers soon, but we gotta get to the good stuff first, child. That explosive fight between Martell and Melody. Princess, thank you so much for the super chat. You don't need to speak ill of the other person. Children are smart and will figure out things on their own. Absolutely. Also, ladies and men, when you enter a new relationship and you lay down with your mate and y'all doing pillow talk, and your spouse, that boyfriend, girlfriend, new husband, whatever, starts speaking ill of their ex, be wary. Be leery. He ain't shit. She ain't shit. Okay? I'm just telling y'all right now.
Monica, girl, I was just talking about this yesterday when I made the statement about how I miss dating, but then I go to scrolling down social media or swiping on Tinder. One of the first questions that you may ask someone is, tell me about your last relationship. Any person that immediately goes into dogging their last relationship, my antenna is already up. The red light is flashing. I will try to give grace and direct them a different direction. Well, what did you learn from that? And they keep berating the other person, next customer. Because again, you're not mentally mature. You have not done your work. Everything was the other person's fault. I have been in not so good relationships, but I can honestly look back at some of my relationships and be like, I could have did this better. I could have supported him more in this. I could have, stroked his ego a little bit more or whatever. I could have, I look at what I could have done right, because I know I'm not all that and all perfect either. It's stuff I need to work on. And when people haven't done that work, baby, it's just going to be whatever happened there is going to happen with you. Same thing. They have not grown, and they ain't trying to grow.
Preach, blood, preach, girl.
I'm even talking about petty things like, my ex, she smells. She had an odor down there. Or my ex, she didn't wash her hair, or I didn't like her haircut, or she was too manly for me. When you lay down with someone and they're speaking on their ex's physical characteristics or all that other stuff, it's a turnoff. I don't want no man like that. That's just childish, immature.
I don't even ask that question because I don't want your past is your past. I'm not here to know all that. But if you do tell me, I'm like, please, I'm like, you, Monica, don't go in, because when you start berating, then I'm like, okay, well, what did you do? Because I've asked a few people, well, what did you do to because it can't all be that person. That they just was such terrible. What was your role? And if you can't be honest about what your role was, we can go ahead and cut this conversation right on here. You go on about your business, because people nowadays, and like Bishop put on the sign of the whiteboard, people don't court no more. That's the problem. You 2 days and you're moving in. Stop doing that.
Courting, yes. We need to get back to the old school courting, yes.
And I can't stand superficial ninjas. I can't stand them. I really can't, especially when you ask them, what do you look for in a person? Oh, she has to look like this. She has to look like that. This and a third. Or she said he needs to look like this, 6 figures, 6 foot tall. And I'm like, okay, I can get you a dude like that, but you're going to hate him. Because you never told me what you want and what you like out of a person. I cannot stand when they're surface. I'm like, who are you? What do you want? What are you looking for? I'm not talking about the outer appearance. I'm talking about the inner person. That lets me know that they're superficial and that they haven't done any work on themselves. Because first thing you ask me, what kind of woman you want? Well, I want a sweet woman. I want someone that's nurturing, someone that has a beautiful soul, a beautiful spirit, the person that likes to be sociable with other people, because I am a minister and I want her to be engaging with other people. But if she's an introvert, that's fine. As long as she can say hi and hello and hi bye, and she's a person that's giving and caring to other people, then that's what I want. But you didn't hear nothing about looks, because I know when I see her, I'm going to be attracted to her. What the world is wrong with people? I be like, what is wrong with you individuals? Like, it's crazy. Yeah. And on top of that, when they dogged them, I never dogged an ex of mine. Never, unless it was private with some people that I trusted. But I said, you know what? I messed up. And people said, quit saying that. You were a good man to her. I said, but I know, but I should have done this, that, and the third. And it shocked them because I kept holding myself accountable. I said, I allowed that. I should never have allowed that, because when I seen signs, I should have said something, but I didn't. I was just in love, all this stuff and googly eyed. But even my last relationship, I was in love with the ex prior. And I was like, you know what? I should have never allowed her to coerce me into that relationship, because she did. And I was like, I should have stopped it. As a grown man, I should stop. But I was like, let me give it a try, because it's been years. So let me give it a try. And I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. And I left her brokenhearted, and I felt so bad for it. Even though me and her is friends and I'm friends with the other ex, I should have never allowed that to happen. That was on my watch. And I tell people that all the time, because I heard a good person, because she was a sweet, beautiful person. And I should have never done that.
And I just want to say what I mean when I asked that question I don't care about anybody's past. What I care about is what we've been talking about, accountability.
Yep.
For me, it is a litmus test for accountability. You can go through all types of things in your life. I saw somebody say something about abusive relationships. I've been through an abusive relationship. I don't go around and praise the person, but if someone asks me what did I learn in my last relationship, I say I learned how to stand up for myself more. I learned how to pay attention to red flags early on. I learned, you know what I'm saying? You can address things and sometimes talk about your past without dogging the prior relationship, because ultimately it's only going to reflect on you. Like, that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
It can reflect two ways. You've either healed or you haven't. If
Mm-hmm.
you get so emotionally responsive, that lets me know you haven't healed and you're not ready to go back into a relationship. If you're still crying and angry and bitter, and that will come out. And that's why I hate this whole, the only way you can get over somebody is to get under somebody. We move too fast. We don't
Mhm.
really heal ourselves in between relationships. We just
Yeah.
numb it by getting into something new. And it creates this cycle.
And
Right.
I get
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying. I'm not saying that I don't ask that question. I'm not saying that I don't, because I do. And I get what you're saying about that too. I also read people's energy when they start to talk about their ex, because a person's energy will really tell you, like, you ain't even got to get the one first word out, but if your whole demeanor and your energy changes, or when you see that person out, or you got to call me when if you get on the phone with me and tell me, because my last situationship was like that, and I call it a situationship because that was no relationship. She would call me and be like, well, I seen her with the girl she cheated on and married. That why they gotta go to the same restaurant I'm at? Why they gotta go the same? She knew that's my hangout spot. She didn't know nothing about that. And I'm like, it's a free country. If I'm with my mate and we done broke up, and I see you out with your, with by yourself or with your girls, what didn't, I mean, what does that have to do with anything? But people will bring that up to you, and they don't realize you're slighting the person that you on the phone with, because it makes them feel like, okay, well, you still got something going on right there, and maybe I just need to go on and step back, and let you figure that out. But I think we have, like I said, we've regressed. We forgot about that, and now we've all into this social media thing, and even we don't even date. People don't introduce each other how they used to anymore. Everything is internet dating. So anybody can put it inside a profile and present themselves as something, and that's not even who they are.
Bishop, they want to know in the chat, are you single?
Yes, I'm single and ready to mingle.
Ooh. Okay.
And yes, I'm over my ex. That was an old story. You got to mourn them relationships and let it process completely out. I kept stopping the process, and I finally got over the hump on like last month. I told you guys in December.
Yep. All right, y'all. This is a good discussion. I like it because we're going deep. We're talking relationships, grown folks stuff, because of Marsha, and Melody. So let's get to the good part, the fight. I like the fight, y'all. I like the fight. Martell just gets on my last nerve. Look at that face. He got devil ears. You ever notice his ears are pointy like the damn devil? So, oh, he bad when you got ears like that, right?
I like him.
So these two, Melody drove all the way from Atlanta to Huntsville. They're doing a 2-week on, 2-week off type of arrangement with the kids. And it's her turn. It's her turn to pick up the kids. So she's going to go to Huntsville and stay with the kids in their marital home for 2 weeks while Martell goes someplace else. Okay. So she arrives at the home, and already Martell is reneging on the promise. Okay. He's supposed to have his stuff packed up and ready to go to an apartment or wherever else he's supposed to go. And he's giving this girl a hard time off the bat. He's like, maybe I'll have my stuff packed up tomorrow. I told you about wanting the kids in one home. I really don't want to have to go no place. He's changed it so she's already upset. He's frustrating her from jump at the gate. Okay. Martell wants to change the plan. So she starts talking about, I filed the papers, you got the papers. And he says to her, what you never say to a mother, especially a mother of 4, I might file for full custody. Let me tell you something. When a mother hears that in a divorce or anything, she might kill you. You gotta be careful. Words like that are beyond fighting words. It invokes some serious mental trauma and pain, taking, kids away from a mother. So already, it's on and popping, right? And the two of them start to go off, and Martell is gaslighting this girl. And then he's saying stuff like, why are you going off? Why are you acting like that? So she calms, she gathers herself. She realizes she is being loud, and she calms down a little bit. Then he says to her, see, that's why I don't want the kids around you. Look at how you act. I was just like, this man better be careful, because Melody, at some point, to me, the way her face looked, like she was ready to cut him. She was gonna cut him. Okay, hide your knives, hide the kids, hide everything. He's such a liar and a gaslighter. Please sound off on that scene, that dramatic scene.
Well, yeah. It's the culmination of everything that we've been talking about. He's the textbook narcissist, manipulator, gaslighter, everything. He agreed to one thing on the phone, then tried to change it to something different. And it all boils down to his arrogance. He really believes that his actions have no consequences. They've been doing this now on TV for 3 years. So at some point, and we're at that point, your wife has gotten fed up. You've gone and made a baby another place. You're never really at home anyway. So why does it matter that you're not going to be in the home, or the kids are going to be 2 weeks with you, 2 weeks with that? You should have thought about your children not having stability when you were making the choices that you were making. Because even if Melody didn't leave, the type of father he is, because he did not have a great relationship with his own father, he's going to want to be involved in his other child's life. So he's always not going to be fully present with his core or his original family. To try to double back and say, oh, well, I don't want to do homeschool. Like, Melody, to me, and what we're seeing, is beyond gracious, is more fair, better than a lot of women in her same situation would be. She's never attacked his fatherhood or his parenthood. She's never threatened to keep the children from him. She's always agreed that he's a good father and wants him to maintain a relationship with his children. So for him to come at her like that, I really wish the children weren't in the home. I know that some things just can't be avoided, but they heard all of that. They hear all of that. And that's what's really hard for me. I did, like seeing Melanie finally step up for herself, but I really wish the children just weren't in the other room, because they heard all of that. And kids at that age think it's their fault. They think they are the reason that mommy and daddy are going at it like this. So I just want him to man up, put on his big boy pants, and understand this is what happens. This is the consequences of the decisions that you made. And I don't know why he would think that he would get to maintain the family home when he's the one who broke the marriage. She has all of the evidence and it's on TV. You are not going to get that house, sir. And if they do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, that's more than what most people get. Most, guys who become non-custodial parents only get weekends.
Right.
She's willing to give you more.
Yeah.
And he's just, again, selfish and trying to maintain the status quo for everything that he wants. But is trying to bamboozle her and gaslight her into thinking it's about the children. No, it's about you, sir.
Absolutely. Well said. Schoolboy, sound off. What are your thoughts on Martell gaslighting Melody in that scene?
He know damn
And
well
right in front of our face, like we don't know what's going on.
He know damn well he don't want them kids. All men try to pull that same BS that he pulling right now. When the woman's file the paperwork, then they want to be, oh, I want the kids full time. Okay, sir. Well, how often are you going to be wanting to? So you're going to be Mr. Mom. You're going to take the school. You're going to come home and help with the homework. You're going to do everything that I'm going to do? I think not. Most men are not going to do that. Most men are satisfied with getting every other weekend, okay, because that allows them to go ahead and philander during the week. The weekends that they do have with the children, they got to tell the girlfriend, well, you can't come over, on that weekend because I got the kids. They make it work, but they realize it makes more sense for the kids to be with their mother than it does for them to have them. I can see if you wanted to say, okay, well, you supply what you need for them while they're with you, and then I supply what I need while they're with me, and we'll do the 50-50 thing. Martell just lazy. He don't want to do nothing. That's why he was straight off with the school thing. Well, I don't want to do homeschool. Well, fool, you in a pandemic. They ain't going to regular school. So either you're going to help them with the school work or you're not going to help them with the school work. Pick a struggle. And at this point, it doesn't even make any sense. And I understand Melody's frustration because I thought she was going to actually knock that fool in his throat. I really thought she was going to knock him straight smooth out when he said that. And he said it with such conviction as if to say, well, I'm going to pay you back because you decided to divorce me. You should have been okay with it being the way it was. And so now you done pissed me off. So I'm going to piss you off by telling you I done sent the paperwork from my lawyer over there. Because really, he didn't have to say that. He could have kept that to himself. And when she got the paperwork from her lawyer, they could have discussed it then. I think Melody needs to start leaving distance between them. I would have a go-between for the kids. I would not directly see him, and he would have had to either had his mess up out that house before I got there, or when I got there and was there to be there for the 2 weeks, I would have put his ish out on the lawn. You can go around your girl house and stay over there for the 2 weeks. I mean, and come and when I roll out, then you can come back. But to me, keeping that marital home for what? You just being spiteful. And I think everything he does, he's just being spiteful to her because he's mad. But you idiot, it's on TV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bishop, what were you? And I have to also mention this because Melanie went to fuck off. Okay. And she's like, you bring our kids around that woman. They beeped out her name. It was Ariane. He really was taking his kids around Ariane. See, he needs his ass beat. He really does. He need Melanie. If she got some, brothers or manly brothers, or I don't know, some thug brothers, she needs somebody to go over there and beat him up because he's just, telling you, he's gonna drive that woman to do something she's gonna regret.
Right. My opinion on it is this. It needs to be 50-50 because he was getting up in the morning and getting the kids ready. So it wasn't like he was some deadbeat, dad, whatever. So it should be 50-50. He should keep doing the morning stuff and she'd go ahead and do the afternoon stuff, however they were doing it. Those are his kids. So I'm gonna kind of get on more of we're in the progressive time and how people want equality. So him saying that, it was a low blow to her because people say things when they're getting divorced, but he has every right if he wants to file full custody. Those are his children. Same thing as women, they file for full custody like King is doing. She has every right to do that because she's the main parent. My problem with this is, again, manhood, masculinity. Let me quote Monique, but I'm going to say it in the male version. I'm a man of my word, son. Okay, so if I'm a man of my word, I'm going to say I'm not going to be there when you get there. I'm going to be on my way out when you're coming in. You need to be a man of your word. You should not be there. Go on about your business. You're not supposed to be crossing paths with each other. If that was y'all arrangement, stick to the arrangement, son. See, this is the problem I'm having. If you're not a man of your word, them other women need to be very leery because you're an F-boy. And that's a problem. We have too many F-boys and F-girls run around here and ruining people. Ruining good, decent people. And this is the problem that I have because you're not a good person when you're doing that type of stuff. You're showing your children who to avoid because you have 3 daughters, son. And you're showing your son, this is not what I want to be. So, you need to be very careful on how you operate. You need to be a man of your word. If you of your word, you need to cross paths, say, hey, Mel. And she say, hey, Martell, and keep it pushing. The kids are upstairs. Give an update on the kids. I want to hear updates on the kids. I don't want to hear no update about how y'all feel about each other. That's what grown men do. Because why you sitting there gaslighting and doing all the other stuff? That's to me is goofy. It's real goofy, and a lot of dudes need to quit doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm done. I'm through with him at this point.
His actions to me, he just looked evil sitting up there with that grin, being so manipulative with his words. He was triggering her. He knew exactly what to say to set her off. And then sitting up there talking about, why are you getting so angry? See, this is why I don't want my kids around you. Why are you so loud? Whew. I'm telling you, like somebody said in the chat, she needs to get some cousins, not cousins, but cousins to whoop his behind. Because, child, yeah, that ninja right there will make you want to.
Right. Right.
Y'all know what those noises are, right?
I'm telling you,
the words. You just want to knock him out in his throat.
If that was me, I would have escorted my sister. I wish a ninja would. And you talking to her, I said, no play. You can talk to me. What's up? What you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Her brother did ask that. Melody said she was fine. She thought Martell was going to actually be honorable and have his stuff and be out. But her brother did ask, do you need me to go with you? Do you need me to come with you and see about blah, blah, blah? But Melody told him no. And I agree I think the issue is the full custody. They don't need full custody when they can agree to a joint custody arrangement, which is what Melody is willing to agree to. Right. It's not like she's not saying you can't have your children. The issue is, again, Martell just wanting what he wants. And trying to push it off and say, well, the kids don't need to be in homeschool and they don't need to go from house to house. Sir, you made it this way. So yes, if you want your 2 weeks, I'm willing to give you your 2 weeks. They can come to your house for your 2 weeks. And for their other 2 weeks, they can come back over here. He wants her to leave the house. He wants the kids to just stay in that house and them to go back and forth. And she's saying, no, we can each have our own house because apparently they already have, I guess, another rental property or something. That's where he was supposed to be going and moving his things to. He doesn't want that.
Yeah.
Boy, that Carlos King set up a scene. That was a setup. He gave the wrong time to both of them.
This season almost wrote itself. I mean, listen. Oh my goodness. It's sad to see this stuff play out on the TV screen, but it's here And Melody, and I applaud Melody and Martell for keeping it real at least and not hiding it and showing us the real. Oh my goodness, and then later on in the season, she finds out that Martell's mistress, Ariane, is pregnant. And he's gonna lie and say she's not pregnant. She done had the baby in December, by the way, y'all. She had a boy. Mm-hmm. And I heard he looked just like his daddy, too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The ones in the house look just like him. Well, I ain't gonna talk about you, but you said it, them ears.
You know what? It's so sad when she picked up that little infant baby and kissed the baby. I said, dang, there's an infant involved in this, y'all. Why Melanie had to go? Melanie should have divorced that man 2 babies ago. I mean, she knew it. She knew it too. Yeah. Cheating isn't his nature. It's something that he's going to have to repair within. Okay. No woman's going to make him happy until he fixes what's going on inside of him. All right, y'all. Before I take some calls, like I told y'all, I had this big reveal. And anything big that happens on this channel, we're family here. So I have to share it with y'all. I'm just not going to do something and just surprise y'all, right? Look at Bishop. Teacups. So I have a big announcement. I am finally revealing my sub count, which I chose to keep private until I reached a certain goal. And I've met that goal because of all of your love and support and encouragement and tuning in. Listen, when I say I love y'all, I love y'all. Okay? Love, like for real, for real. Y'all don't play about me or anybody on this panel. You hear me? Thank you, Tamara, for the super chat. I'm Team Melody, but didn't Martell say he wants custody to avoid kids being uprooted to Atlanta? I think he just said that to because he's mad Melanie filed for the divorce. Like, oh, you gonna file for divorce? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Using these children as pawns in his sick game. He's just, ooh, goodness gracious. All right. So congratulations. Yay. We love you, Monica. I love you too. Thank you, Cassandra. We love you too. I love you, Monica. I love you. All right, so you guys ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready for the big reveal? And this is big to me. This is my goal. This may not be anyone else's. And listen, we are on the road. We moving upward and onward, child. We not playing no games in 2021. All right, okay, here we go.
Yay!
Yay! Come on, hammer time.
Let's get it. Cheers, y'all. Cheers.
Yes.
Listen. None of that would have been possible without, like I said, the love and the support from this panel, from the teacups, and even bystanders that don't even watch my channel that just say to me, I see what you're doing, sis. Proud of you. I'm happy for you. And listen, I'm overwhelmed with happiness. Let me go ahead, since we celebrating.
Hey, Monica and the teacups, I was sitting here resting, and I thought about, I'm bringing y'all in 2021, where we gonna go, where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside. Okay, I want y'all to have a ball. I want y'all to make as much money as we can, because we're gonna go where the money reside with Monica, where the money reside with the teacups, and we're gonna get the coin and we're gonna do it well. My name is Darrell, and that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay, y'all heard that freestyle? But I want y'all to have a ball. I want y'all to have a good time. 2021 is coming in, and we're gonna get all this money. Okay? And that's on Man Had a Little Lamb, period.
Whenever Darrell laughed like that, I'm laughing right with him. He's like, all right, y'all. I just laugh. I love him. Love him. So I'm gonna turn the sub count on. We got to this big milestone, but we on the road to 100K, y'all.
Hey.
I need y'all, hey, right? 100K. If you're not subscribed to the channel, like I always say, I need you to hit that subscribe button down below. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, go on and bang that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the piping hot tea that we spill on this channel. Next week, y'all, it's busy. I have so much content for next week. Things keep changing by the hour. Now there's a part 2. There's an update on this T.I. and Tiny drama. We need to address it. I have some RHOC tea that I need to spill, major tea. We're going to talk about that on Tuesday. Wednesday, I have an RHOP exclusive on Candace. We're going to get into that. And Thursday, I got Thursday and Friday on deck, but I'll let y'all know I'm keeping it open because the ways things are moving, the way the tea is coming in, y'all, I got to keep Thursday and Friday open because you never know what might pop up. Thank you, teacups. Thank you for all of the love. Yes, D, thank you for the super chat. Goals did it big. Yeah, we did it big. Y'all. We did it big. I love y'all. Okay, so let me see here. Mary, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, I love you back. Thank you. I love you too, girl. Yes. Congratulations. All right, let's take some callers. I'm going to add Princess to the chat. Hey, Princess.
Hey.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
My little twerk in my chair. I'm doing this. Congratulations, Monica. I don't have a whole lot to say about this situation because I kind of stopped watching in the middle of the season last year. But you halfway didn't even have to watch it because the mess was all on Instagram and on YouTube. Like, this is terrible. This is really messy. And I was tired last night and I just kind of glazed over the episode yesterday. And, Martell is sad, okay? He's a sad individual and he's broken and it's beyond his marriage. It makes no sense for him to come over to people's places of business, places of residence, trying to strong arm people basically into his point of view. If you are a righteous person, it is no point for you to have to go tell somebody, oh, you on my side. That's some B.A.N type of behavior. Okay. He's a band. And if you don't know what that means, just ask your neighbor, okay? That's banned behavior because a real man don't have time to focus on that type of foolishness because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whose side that the people are on. It matters is the house note paid? Is the utilities paid? Is the divorce done? Are the kids okay? Are you and your wife okay? No outside elements have any factor in that happening because you, my friend, don't mean you can't be her friend. You're married. You have kids. So these people don't go nowhere. The relationships don't break up. I got boyfriends, okay? Matter of fact, my baby daddies. I bet you I call his mama real quick. I don't have to talk to him, and half the time I don't talk to him. But when I gotta call that mama, I'm gonna call that mama. When your son ain't acting like he's sugar honey iced tea, I'm calling your mama, okay? So because we break up don't mean I break up with everybody else, okay? I got some boyfriends that kept my friends with them, okay? It's not about a side. Those should not have factors in what you're doing in the relationship. These people should be adult enough to be able to have separate relationships between the two and not pillow talk all your business to one another after you break up. This is about adulting. And I don't see adulting going on here. He's like a little kid mad, okay? And I got to have my way. And I know he real mad at his mama, but he's not going to come to his mama real hard with that BS. He know he needed to fall back and sit on down, and he's going to have to take this and learn how to take it. So now that he's on his campaign for vote Martell in the divorce, he's sitting out here. He can't have his way like he wants to yet. So he's going to take it out on Melanie. Okay. Don't no man want the kids like that. I don't know no man on earth. They want their kids, but don't no man just say, I want the kids. and I'm gonna sit up here and bear the brunt. I mean, it's hard raising children, and it's hard raising them individually. But for you to sit up there and say, I want 100% custody, how you gonna be in the streets and for the streets if you got to sit up there and rock the babies to sleep? Come on, let's be real, okay? The kids are natural blockers, okay? So you cannot go out there and be in the streets if you got full custody of them kids. You're gonna be calling Melanie all the time talking about some, you gonna come watch them, you know, because that's what they do is you watch your kids, you know, instead of parenting them. That was just a ploy to upset her. I see that every time he does things to upset her. When they were separating, he does things to upset her and to just fuel the fire. And one thing I noticed about men is they try to see if you still care about them by pissing you off. Okay. Oh, she still loves me. She got a little bit. You know, if I piss her off, you know, it's a turn on to some people. You know, they get their rocks off by that. You know, and he's wrong. Pillow talking with the side chick and hiding the baby and lying about the baby and all of that. Things would have been way better if he had just been honest and forthcoming about what his decisions were. Men out there, you will be surprised what happens if you are honest and forthcoming about your decisions and what you want to do in these streets and out these streets. Because he picked Melanie for a reason and as his model wife, but he always knew he wanted to be out in the streets. He just wasn't ready. And that doggone Marsau, I'm not deep into their relationship, but I think he might be 1 foot in the streets, 1 foot in the home. He's too controlling, okay? And those traditional ways of keeping the relationship, you know, what's the point of having a wife at home that's unproductive? You know, you should want somebody to have something up here and to be able to help and support you. So most men who are controlling and or abusive and or out there in the streets, they keep the woman on lockdown, keep her at home so he can always see where she at, so he can move all the way around. Okay, that's the ploy and that's the trick. If I always know where you at, you don't know where I'm at. Okay, so you know that's the one to watch. And him and Martell had a bromance. Don't tell me you men talk more than women do. Okay, they gossip. They be knowing what's going on between the two of them, and they keep secrets. Not us. We get mad at each other. We tell the whole world. Okay, but they keep each other's secrets, and I think it's something to that. It's something to be said and something to be watched in the season. That's my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said. I still don't think Marsau is cheating, but he might be. Who knows? Like you said, 1 foot out the door, 1 foot in the door. I don't know. I like a traditional man, y'all. I like it.
I do too. You know, I'm around a lot of traditional men, but it's just something about them, you know, and birds of a feather flock together. Okay.
True.
Yeah. I have uncles who are traditional men. They don't talk to their wives the way that Marsau talks to Tisha.
No.
That's my issue with him. He you know, he degrades her. He talks down to her. He does act like he's above her financially, mentally, emotionally, everything. He's trying to keep her pigeonholed for a reason. And I will just say he is a wonderful Q. Now I'll leave that where that is in regards to
girl. Oh Lord. You think he's
of it all.
not a traditional Q? No. Really? Oh, okay.
I'll just say that it may not be now, but they've been married for a while, so it's like Heavenly with Daddy. Daddy's a Q too, and if Heavenly think she done trapped that man when she was in her 20s and got him pregnant, and that he never. Baby, let me tell you about some of them chapter meetings he go to. Okay, now bye. I'm gonna shut up now.
No, we know what you're saying.
I get what they call them dogs for a reason now.
I got a good girlfriend that had a seat in the house down in Jackson, baby, with them Q dogs.
A seat in the house,
in her loose days, okay.
Ooh,
And that's no
They
shame,
love
'cause
some women.
all of my uncles accused. Some of them founded their chapters at their schools in
Ooh,
Mississippi.
Lord.
So
Ooh.
I'll just say,
Them
again, based on his pedigree and his history,
Mhm.
Marsau ain't no saint. I'll just say that.
them Qs love they women though. Yeah.
And they fine as hell. I'll tell you that much too. You know, they on
Mhm.
the eye. But so the general consensus is Marsau wants to keep Tisha barefoot and pregnant. Is that what y'all saying?
Or at least barefoot.
Pregnant too. He likes to knock her up. He do like to knock her up now.
But see,
Oh.
Monica, again, you got to remember last year, Marsau is not dumb. He wasn't going to get caught up like Martell. You see, he went and got that vasectomy real quick. He can't make no more babies. He wanted that for a reason. Ain't going to be no outside oops babies.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Oh, I would hope he's wearing condoms. I don't care about outside babies. I care about STDs. STDs. Do not bring home the HIV. Do not bring home the herpes or any of that stuff. Don't bring home nothing, even the babies. Of course, I'm concerned about the babies, but oh goodness, the diseases. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Out in the streets don't come back home either. You don't come back.
I know. Princess, don't go nowhere. Hang out with us. I'm gonna add Thick Girl 40 to the chat. Hey, Thick Girl 40.
Hey, Thick Girl 40.
You gotta stay in one position with the camera in front of you.
Right here. I'm
Like
trying to find the light.
because then people's complaining they get dizzy and stuff, you know.
Okay, I'm trying to find the light so I can be seen.
Okay. I'm gonna pull you back out until you get situated. I'm gonna add Miss Mabel to the chat. Hey, Miss Mabel.
Hey, how you doing?
In my head.
Yeah.
First of all, I haven't been able to catch any lives because I didn't have electricity for 2 days, but that's a whole nother issue.
Oh, no. Okay.
It was the storms. We had some storms out here in California. You know, California, it's either raining, flooding,
Yeah.
earthquakes, fires. We never just have a normal day. So I want to kind of speak to the whole situation with Martell and Melody and the children. So y'all know I have 8 children. I say that all the time. My youngest is 15. Now her daddy was the special one. And by special, I mean he liked women and dope. And he liked to hit. I never had to speak bad about him. Understand that she's 15. She could tell his tales when he was high. She could tell his tales when something was about to go on. But is when she was 6. So your children know if you're in a bad relationship, even if it's not abusive, even if Martell isn't hitting on Melody. When he's out, they're reading what Melody is putting out there. They can feel her energy. They can feel, she didn't have to speak on it. Kids are very perceptive. They take everything in and they put it back out. My daughter to this day, she can be like, I'll be like, did you talk to your dad today? How did he sound? Like he high? That's not what a child should have to say, but I don't have to teach my child that. I didn't have to tell her what he did. I didn't have to speak badly about him because she was able to make her own opinions on him. You can't, when you put your child in the middle of stuff, that's a whole nother issue. They see how Martell is teaching their mother, and I know they're very young right now, but if he continues his behavior, they will continue to see that. And they will also realize she's not the one that's the problem. It's my daddy. And they're going to start to distance themselves from him. As far as him want full custody, like you said, Princess, he don't want them. Girl, between changing babies' diapers, making sure they're doing their homework, you got to cook for him, you got to clean up after him. Come on now. We all know that was a lie. But he does know how to trigger her still. And that's going to be a big issue for her to get over. Because he's going to continue to say stuff. When I went to court for my daughter, her father was like, well, I'm going to tell the judge that I have pictures of you and that you did this. I said, well, go ahead, boo. I have nothing to hide because I knew it was a ploy. But I was also to the point where I didn't care anymore. Do you understand? She still cares to some degree. I don't know if it's love or it's comfort. She knows what it is. It's like people that go in and out of prison. They know that beast. They know what it is to be there. They know when to get up. They know when to eat. They know when to sleep. It's a comfort for them. So she may not want to be with him, but she knows what it is to be with him. And it's better than trying to go out there and find somebody else, because dating does not occur in this world anymore. You don't know who anybody is. Like Bishop said, I could be 5'2", 120 pounds, big booty, big titties, beautiful. I could be anybody I want to be. And you're going to believe that because you've never seen me. You've never taken the time to know me. I want to know someone. I don't care if you have baggage. We can deal with the baggage. I got baggage too, boo. But if you aren't presenting yourself as someone that you truly are, which, Martell, he put himself out there one way, and that's not really who he was. So Melody didn't get what she thought. And Melody may have put herself out there one way as well. And now he's like, well, this isn't what I signed up for. But you knew. You should know. They've been married. People don't take the time. That's why I call y'all my friends in my head. You're really my friends, but I don't know you. But you know things about me. I know things about you. I also know how to keep a secret, which Martell clearly does not. He's telling everybody's business. And first of all, Monica, I'm happy for you. I follow everybody's page, but it's crazy to me to see how people will come for you. Mm-hmm. So he thinks by putting out there that she cheated on him, she did this, they're going to go after her. But really, you're making yourself look like y'all have said the B word. Mm-hmm. Can't say the N word because I'm white. I don't want to get in trouble, y'all. It's a lot of what they choose to pick and tell. You can't tell me that she knew who he was the first time he cheated. This is not the first time, not the second time. But sometimes you are more comfortable being in a bad relationship than having to leave, not knowing how you're going to make it, not knowing how you're going to survive with your children. There are things that you sometimes in your mind, you're like, well, if I stay here, it's better because, the dad's in the home, but it's not. At the end of the day, it's not. And I think that's where a lot of hers comes from. It shouldn't have taken her this long to get to a point where she decided to leave, unfortunately. And I speak from experience because I could be the poster child for that crap. So I think that's where a lot of and I don't want to say she's insecure because she seems very confident, but then again, being in a relationship is different than being a business owner or an entrepreneur, or, you have judges and police officers and lawyers and women in power who are in these incredibly bad relationships. So I can't even say that's what it is, but there is some kind of insecurity in there. And it's crazy to think and to watch her kind of, she's not unraveling or anything, but he's going to get his. If he continues to push her, someone is going to deal with him. And I don't think it will be in a polite, talking, how are you doing kind of way. I think it could become something else. So I know you got other people in the back, Miss Monica. I love you. I'm so happy for all of your all the goodness that's coming your way. And I'm subscribed to everybody's channel. I finally was able to find Ples today.
Good. Yes. Follow everyone on the panel. Yes. We need to support everyone on the panel because you know what? They play an instrumental role in that number ever since I started going live nightly. That helped it too. That, I got, I was up there, but this definitely helped.
Right. Can I say just one more thing, Ms. Monica? This is about you, and this is I kind of want to praise you. I've noticed that with the people you have on the panel, this panel, and then the one I watch on Mondays with Amir and Richie and Buffy and Monique, you share them and you ask people to listen to them. You don't keep everything to yourself. You try to build others up as you're going along. And I think that's very unusual sometimes, especially being in the kind of realm that you guys are. I hear all of y'all. When Schoolboy's on, she's always talking about other things. It may be Princess, it might be Ples. And it's nice to see that because sometimes people are all about self. I don't see that with you guys. I don't see that with you, Miss Monica. And Princess and Schoolboy, I expect that late night to be happening soon. Y'all don't act like you don't know. And if y'all don't know, you should have watched the Instagram. I love you guys. I hope you have a great, great, great Sunday.
Okay, you too. Thank you so much. And God bless you, Miss Mabel. We love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. I love her. Hey, thick girl 40.
Hey,
You all
y'all.
settled down? Okay, girl. Okay, good. How you doing, my love?
Good in all of you. And Monica, that's why I post, because everybody needs to be at All About the Tea and get all this hot
Thank
and
you.
keep it going and pass it along.
Yep. Pass the
You'll get
love.
100,000 before you know it.
Thank you.
But okay, Mr. Martell, at the beginning of the show, he was complaining about doing everything for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks now. How are you going to do it for a lifetime until they're 18? You told your mama you're going to get a nanny. So when you want to go run the streets, you're going to get the nanny to stay with them? That's crazy. And him and Marceau need to watch it because they are going to be raising daughters with daddy issues if they don't stop treating their mothers the way they treat their mothers. You do what you see. You emulate what you see. So if that's what you're seeing in the home, that's what you're going to do when you get older. Because you're going to be looking for that kind of love that nobody deserves. You're not looking for the right love. You're looking for that bad love that your father showed your mother the whole time you were growing up. No child should have to see that. I'm glad Martell's mother let him have it. I was so happy. I was like, I thought I wasn't going to like her, but when she opened her mouth, I was like, yes, now that's what he needs. Because her and Mel are the only two people that talk to him like that. Every other woman goes right along with his playbook. And to go to my friend's house or your friend, whatever, and talk dirty about me like that, but you say you love me. You didn't want the divorce. How? How do you love somebody and treat them like that? Like Tony Braxton said, love should have brought you home last night before you got that girl pregnant. And wait till we see this now, but wait till Mel found out on the show that he has a baby on the way. How do you think that woman gonna feel? He is the most misogynistic. Oh my God, I can't stand that man. Marceau, just like Claire says, he's misogynistic too. He talks to Tisha like she's a child. Tisha acts like she don't have a backbone. That's why her mother's always running her mouth. But she needs to get out of there because she's a whole grown married woman with kids who needs to stick up for herself. Because if you let him do it, you'll let everybody else do it. Why do you think Mel talked to you the way she was? And stop acting like you say you're not talking about them. They don't matter to you. But every time you open your mouth on this show, Martell or Mel comes out your mouth. You contradict yourself every single time you open your mouth. Why is that relationship any of your bother? You need to be focusing on what your man, how your man treating you and who out in the street with. Because remember last season she said, I haven't put my husband in the line in 11 years. Girl, who you think won't believe that? So your husband ain't lied to you about nothing in 11 years. Get off. Come on with that. No. But yeah, I just don't like the way it's going. He makes Mel, I'm so happy she left because trying to stay in a marriage just so your kids can have two parents in the home affect your children more than it would if you just co-parent. I tried it. And when I left, my kids were better. They still love their daddy. I'm never going to down talk you because I need a break too. You need to come and get them. I'm never going to down talk. If you don't want to come get them, let me know. Send somebody else. Didn't want the front door. I don't know. But you ain't got to see me, but you will get these kids. Martell don't want to pay child support. Nor does he want Mel to have the upper hand. That's what it all boils down to. Because he already got to pay child support for the other one. He got any sense. So that's what it's all about, control and not wanting to pay that money out.
Yeah. You nailed it. I agree with you. Oh, child, Martell need Jesus, child. He need a good ass whooping and some Jesus. He does.
And the black oil. Because he got some demons up in there that need to be out.
He needs Jesus to whoop his ass. That's what he needs.
Yeah, because that's what I had. My heart went out to Mel. Because who does that to somebody? How can you love me and treat me this way? Love don't work like that. Love don't hurt. I haven't been in a physical abusive relationship, but I've been in a mental abusive relationship. And sometimes that heartache, once the heartache is over, the heartbreak still hurts. That hurts for the longest. You can hit me, I might get over that faster, but I'm not going to get over that heartbreak in due time. That stuff takes time. You mess a person up for life when you do certain things to them. People are scarred. And when you don't take people into consideration, it's something wrong with you. He's a little psychopathic. To me, only good qualities I see in him that he loves his kids. I will never say that man don't love his kids. He loves his kids to death. I believe that he would even try to be a single parent if he had to be. But this is not what this is about.
Exactly.
Just being a single parent because I don't want Mel to be a parent or be happy about anything in her life.
Right.
Mel's a boss, period. Now that's one chick, yeah, she's a boss, period. He's more of a man than he is.
You're right. You're right. Thick girl Frody, I mean, thank you for always being so, with the intelligent perspective. You're absolutely right. Everything you said, I mean, you spoke nothing but facts. I agree.
Thank you. Y'all be safe. Love y'all. It's snowing like cats and dogs in D.C.
Oh, stay safe. Be safe.
All right.
Yeah.
Love you, Class.
you.
I can't never find you. I be trying to type you in the Twitter, but I can't. You ain't got one of those. But
No,
I'm not
on Twitter.
Yeah, I tag everybody else though. They're my friends in my head, like Miss Mabry said.
Friends. We more than friends. We family. Okay, sis, you have a good one. Stay safe and warm out there, okay?
I will. Love you guys. Y'all be safe.
You too.
Big girl is your brand ambassador.
She is.
She's so supportive, and she tweets a lot. All I'm gonna say is stop tagging them folks too, because I ain't trying to get blocked. When you tag people, when you keep tagging them people on Twitter, they will block you. Yeah, they will. All right, y'all, we gonna wrap things up. I mean, RHOA boring. Should I preference it as boring? RHOA starts in 20 minutes, and I got to subject myself to watching.
Are you talking about the Real Housewives of Narcoleptic?
Yeah, Real Housewives of Scissoring. I mean, what?
Bedtime scissoring.
Well, I think we might get a little something today. Either Bolo finna get down on it, or Drew gonna say that famous line, "I'm from Chicago," I
know you like that. I know you like that.
I know people abuse that, because they be thinking like we fight all the time. I'm not even a fighter. I set you up these words.
You not a what?
People from Chicago and New York, they quick to say, I'm from New York. Okay, child. Okay. All right, y'all. Plaz, where can they find you?
Hi, you can find me on Instagram at scared_of_beautiful and on YouTube at Scared of Beautiful, just spaces, no periods. If you can't find it in the YouTube search, just go to my bio on Instagram and click the link.
Yep, please do. Please do. Bishop, where can they find you?
You can find me at The Bishop on YouTube. Just type in the with THEE and then Bishop. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Bishop Red Pill.
Princess, where can they find you, my love?
Well, my Instagram is at PrincessAV613 in my bio. You can find my website and my YouTube House of the Princess. But I discovered today, if you type in Princess AV613 in YouTube, you'll find my page as well.
Make sure y'all subscribe to Princess's channel. She be serving it up. Nasty. She gets down over there. Schoolboy, my love, my friend. Where can they find you?
Oh, y'all can find me on YouTube at school_boy. You can find me on Twitter, where I reside most of the time, at school_boy. And you can find me on the Instagram at school_boy_2021, where you can get in my comment section and I'm playing.
Oh, Lord. Don't get yourself in trouble now, girl.
Oh my God.
I'm already getting cussed out in there, so it don't even matter.
Oh, Lord have mercy. No, we trying to keep the families together now. We got to keep the families together. All right, y'all. I am here on YouTube, all about the tea. I urge you to subscribe to the channel because we are bringing the heat in 2021. I'm not playing no games, okay, with this content creation.
You
Subscribe, Nope. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification, bang that notification bell if you already subscribed to the channel. And while you're at it, hit the like button because those likes are so helpful. I want to thank y'all for listening tonight. Teacups, I love you all. Mods, thank you for holding down the chat and keeping the crowd under control. Everyone that sent in a super chat or a cash app, thank you so much for helping keeping the lights on. It helps a whole lot. I know it's snowing in a lot of places. A lot of people woke up to a lot of snow. Man, I get so jealous. I'm looking at everybody's Instagram stories and I'm seeing all the snow. Meanwhile, it's like 70 degrees out here where I'm at.
You come to my house and I'll come to your house. You can have all this snow that they got up out here. I couldn't even go to the gym.
I want some snow. It just looks so peaceful and beautiful. I want to play in it, do snow angels and make snowballs and
Are you a homebody, Monica?
You get over that quick.
I can be, but listen, it was quarantine. It was COVID. We didn't have no vacation this year. So I can't go no place, so I'm stuck up in the house. And with this COVID, I don't play. I'm taking this very seriously. As y'all know, I've lost family members. I'm staying home. I keep my butt home. And when I go out, I look like a freak because I got on a pair of gloves and not the surgical ones. I use the big rubber plastic ones, like you clean the toilet with.
She don't
you
play.
Looking like Dexter's Laboratory Mama with the gloves.
I got the ones that you clean the toilet. I got a brand new one. I got a couple of pairs. I stock up from Amazon. The big rubber plastic ones. I got the face shield and I wear 3 masks. So listen, COVID ain't gonna catch me.
Do you monitor people when they come to the door?
No one comes to the door. No one's allowed in the house.
All I'm thinking about is that hazmat outfit that
Marlo. I was about to say that Monica's the Marlo of YouTube.
Yeah, listen, I got a bunch of repairs that need to be done in this house. Seriously, ceilings leaking, all kinds of shit. We got buckets. You can't come up in here. Not until this COVID mess is over. For real. We can use a bucket. It's fine. We'll be all right. We'll make it. Listen, so I want y'all to stay safe and be blessed. Wear your mask, wear your gloves. And if someone does have to come in your house, get those booties so they can put over their shoes, Yeah. And in and out real fast. Time it. Put the timer on. All right, y'all. I love you, teacups. Bye. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back here for the RHOA recap at 3 p.m. Eastern. Then I'm back with my nightly crew, Ples, Bishop. Prince is going to join us, Schoolboy. Yeah. Yep, we're not playing. We love you. Bye.